Wednesday is here, another beautiful day. Maybe thank goodness today we're not color coding, so we don't look like lemon and lime. Even there are shades of difference. But I see something that looks a bit green down there. And even with that, you're doing it. Something you can't see, though. But welcome aboard. This is the AM show. It's like Sweetie will say, the Ben and Sweetie show. Welcome aboard.
Hi there. We are absolutely excited to steer the conversations this morning and bring you stories that resonate with you. This morning, it's a gentle reminder that it's just 45 days to go for the 2024 presidential and parliamentary election. It was just yesterday or so that we launched 100 days. Already down to 45 days. Now this morning, of course, we start by serving you the latest updates on everything happening in and around the country with AM News, as well as our business update segment. And then Dr. Kwame Asante, the head of the Center for European Studies and a political scientist, will be joining us to review the newspapers. And then Muftana Bil Abdullah will bring you AM Sports from the world of sports. Benjamin, what are we doing for our big stories this morning?
Well, then we get into our big stories. In 1990, Ghana began the implementation of policies and programs aimed at increasing the consumption of LPG and reducing the growing deforestation. By 2021, Ghana's energy policy targeted 50% of the LPG market penetration by 2030. However, many have now resorted or returned to the use of charcoal. In our latest Hotline documentary, Gas to Charcoal, we'll tell you stories of how consumers of LPG now prefer to use charcoal due to the high cost of LPG. Are you one of them? Get on board, hop on board that conversation, and let's have it for God and country.
It's actually rare these days to find someone who uses charcoal. Or maybe it's the circles or where I go in the places I visit.
Big woman things.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, Benjamin.
Yeah.
But aside that Hotline documentary, we will also bring you the latest episode of our Climate Focus series. And we'll be telling you how the ban on motorbikes in Boko is transforming transportation in the area while cutting down on carbon emission. And so you want to stay for that. Also on Climate Focus today, like I said, we'll take you to the bustling street of Boko, where a new kind of transportation, which is electric bikes, eco-friendly, efficient, and reducing carbon emissions has also come into play. So you should look forward to all those conversations and stories we'll be telling you this morning on the AM show. But before we get into the first business of the day, are you looking for a complete residential facility which offers you all the amenities you can think of, including an industrial and office complex to make commuting from work to your home convenient? Well, if you answered yes, then look no further, because Apollonia City has got you covered. And ahead of the EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair 2024, we'll be bringing you a conversation on AM business. You want to stay for that. Folks, this is the Ben and Sweetie Show.
Well, stay with us. Up next, we serve you the news in a bit, followed by the news review. We'll be right back. So should you.
It's a pleasure to have you here. Let's get into the details of the AM News. The Ghana AIDS Commission is awaiting Cabinet approval for HIV and AIDS clinical services to be incorporated into the National Health Insurance Scheme to improve investment case and sustainability assessment. Director General of the Commission, Dr. Chireme Etuahene, engaging the media at the 13th National HIV and AIDS Partnership Forum held in Accra to discuss national HIV response, noted that the move will bring or bridge the gap between funding.
You know that government has taken steps to, ensure that we are able to bridge the funding gap. And key steps are being taken to resource the HIV fund and bring in the HIV clinical services, under the NHIS, where we expect that HIV will be included in the NHIS benefit package.
Residents of Kudula and its adjoining communities can now heave a sigh of relief after their roads were reshaped, opening the area to the rest of the region. Kudula and 3 other communities were cut off during the peak of the raining season, making it difficult for the people to move to Tamale to access healthcare, among other services. But with the grading of the roads, the chief and the people are excited they can now undertake their activities without hindrance. There's more in this report.
Kudula, Yonda, Twenyele and its adjoining communities are farming communities in the Tamale South constituency of the northern region with several developmental challenges. One of the challenges these communities face is bad roads. Speaking to Joy News after the reshaping of their roads, the residents said the deplorable state of the roads had isolated the Kudula, Yonda, Twenyele and their neighbors from the rest of the world.
The deplorable nature of our road made it difficult for us to access neighboring communities. We were unable to go to the market, but now we are happy and want to show appreciation to Alhaji Feseni for the gesture.
The chief of Kudula, Inyab Kudulana, expressed his excitement over the improved road condition, emphasizing the difficulty his people face to navigate the deplorable roads.
What I have been yearning for is what you have done for me and my people. We were suffering a lot due to the poor nature of the road. To bring our farm produce home was a big challenge, and I made several appeals with no response. Today, I am happy.
The MPP parliamentary candidate for Tamale South, Alhaji Feseni Musa, who is reshaping these roads, reiterated his commitment to bring more development to these areas should he win the election.
We were not happy seeing how deplorable the road was, so we decided to come and reshape it for easy motoring for you. This is what a politician who cares for you does. My opponent cannot point to a single developmental project he executed in this town.
In other stories, religious leaders and community members in the Konogo community of the Ashanti region are standing against illegal mining activities, swallowing up the green vegetation and water bodies in the area. The gold mining town is left in ruins by the illegal mining menace with imminent threats of water shortages. Emmanuel Bright Kweku reports.
At the Konongo community are the peril of illegal mining activities. Open pits and gullies filled with brown milky sludge continue to emerge on arable lands, with the latest being the destruction of a site close to the Accra-Kumasi highway. Many lives have been lost over the years, including the prominent 2022 incident of a young mother who died when a mining pit dug under her toilet caved. The Ghana Water Limited warns of imminent water shortages in the area as the only water treatment plant serving the communities is heavily polluted. The once beautiful capital of the Asante Achim Central Municipal and surrounding communities are losing their greenery and source of water.
Enye ube sori ube piekwa na ho na ma atete digalam se de enye enso bi anso no e be say apan mu bi san shafi because me am jana meeting ga say ma boa boys am ye kwa kutu galam se abraye nko hu obi a so te ase nti se bibi be say enso de a na panifo no so bi sa ase nti omo hwe ba bi e koso san no mo so hwe.
In a joint call for action, religious leaders and some community members took to the principal streets of Konongo to raise awareness on the devastating impacts of illegal mining. Spearheaded by Green Faith Ghana, the group comprising the local council of churches, the Widow Association and the youth demanded an end to illegal mining in the area.
It is our collective responsibility to answer that call. We commend the following actions. 1. And Galamsey now, we demand an immediate halt to all illegal mining activities across the country. The government must enforce stringent laws and ensure that violators, regardless of their status and influence, face the full weight of justice.
So simply the call has been that the local authorities and citizenry and even the government rise to the call in protecting our environment. From here at Konongo in the Ashanti region, my name is Emmanuel. Thanks, Craig.
The Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority has observed revenue from imports will be adversely impacted in December as businesses adopt a quote wait-and-see attitude in the 2024 general election. Commissioner Brigadier General Zibrim Ayorogo, however, says despite the business uncertainties in the election year, the Customs Division is assured of meeting revenue mobilization targets. Clinton Yeboah has more in this report.
The Jabin Government Hospital serves as a referral facility for healthcare delivery. With the increasing number of patients at the maternity unit, expectant mothers and hospital staff are in a critical situation. In-service training coordinator of the Jabin Government Hospital, Alexander Opoku, says an expansion of the facility is urgent for equitable and easy accessibility to healthcare services to save lives. He asks for access to essential equipment for the facility's ICU.
There are quite a number of projects we are doing. And one of the major ones is the maternity block. We have a maternity block at the moment, but it's not large enough to aid in our work. So we want to, as much as possible, expand the maternity block, include units like recovery ward and other stuff in it so that we'll be able to help serve our patients well. Equipment like beds, because we have now opened our ICU and we'll need some other clinical machines at the unit to be able to serve our patients well. Sometimes our suppliers delay and giving us our items, but these ones will come in handy. We'll be able to use it on the patient for the time being until we get our product from our suppliers. So it's really helpful.
The concerns were raised at the back of a donation made by the Calvary Charismatic Center. The church donated sanitary materials to the Jabin Government Hospital to mitigate its stock shortages. The church also made available household items and clothes to residents at the Professor Adu Boahen Arena. Resident pastor of Calvary Charismatic Center, Kumasi, Reverend Joshua Bing, says the gesture forms part of the church's goodwill deeds to spread God's love.
We want to share God's word, but not just God's word, we want to share the love of God. Because October, CCC has designed the month of October as a time where we fulfill what Jesus called the Great Commission. And so we always choose a place to go to during that time, and we chose Jabin. And we are hoping that after this, we have a crusade on Wednesday, on Thursday and Friday. And on Wednesday, we are going to share clothes. I will call for support for the Jabin Hospital. You know, the hospitals do a lot, and this is a government hospital. And sometimes government cannot handle everything. It would take individuals, churches, organizations to many times help the government with a helping hand. And so we encourage all sorts of groups and all individuals to give a helping hand to Jabin hospitals and any other hospital also which is around you.
Reporting for Joy News, my name is Clinton Yeboah.
Now, Deputy Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation, Amidu Chinia Ishaku, posited that based in the tremendous work that he had done in the last 4 years in the Sisala East constituency, he has no scintilla of doubt that he will be retained by the people of Sisala East. Now, he cited the construction of 4 number 22-bed wards for 4 health centers in the constituency, among a plethora of projects that he has executed. Amidi Chiana is seeking a second term in Parliament, and no member of Parliament in the Sisala East has been able to serve for 2 consecutive terms. But speaking at the launch of the party's campaign in Tumu, he served notice that he is bent on breaking that jinx. Join his Upper West Regional correspondent, Rafiq Salam, reports from Tumu.
Sisala East constituency, one of 5 swing seats in the Upper West region. No member of Parliament since the return to constitutional rule in 1992 has been able to serve for 2 consecutive terms. However, Deputy Minister for Water Resources and Sanitation, Amiduchinia Isaku, is bent on breaking that virginity. Speaking at the party's campaign launch at Tumu, he posited that based on the work that he has done, the people of the Sisala East will renew not only his mandate, but will elevate Dr. Mahmoud Baumia to lead the country as well.
I have no doubt in my mind that the work I have done in the last 4 years as MP, coupled with the work the former MP Honorable Rudan has done in the area of health, I have delivered 2 ambulances from my common fund and about to deliver a 3rd one. And I believe that the people of Sisala East appreciate my performance. And on the 7th of December, based on my performance and the performance of the MPP, number 1 on the ballot paper, Amidu Chinyere Isaku and Dr. Baumia will be elected as Member of Parliament and President of Ghana.
By his side was former Interior Minister and MP for Nandom, Ambrose Dere, who have an enduring appeal from the slew of supporters.
Chinyere in Parliament, he is an intelligent, indefatigable, committed, hard-working member of Parliament. We know that we are taking Sisala East constituency on 7 December.
He also had midst of unlikely guests in the People's National Convention, PNC, championed by some constituency executives of the party who came to throw their support behind him. Leading the charge was the Sisala East campaign manager of the PNC, Mahama Bawa.
And on behalf of the constituency chairman, we declare that anybody who is a PNC member and a committed supporter, we should all give our votes to Honorable Chinyere come December 7th, 2024.
The MPP in the Upper West region has set a target of adding at least 3 more seats to the 3 they won in the 2020 polls. Reporting for Joy News, Rafiq Salam, Tumu.
Let's do some other stories now. 27 schools will from tomorrow battle for 9 slots in the quarterfinals of the 2024 National Science and Maths Quiz. Reigning champions, Presec Legon, are hoping to extend their dominance with a 9th trophy this year. Now, ahead of the quarterfinals tomorrow, the main quiz mistress, Professor Elsie Ifa Kaufman, spoke with my colleague, Jacqueline Ansumayabwa, about her expectations for this year's knockout stage.
Few hours to kickstart quarterfinals. Your expectations from the students and contesting schools.
All right.
We have 27 of them.
Yes, as usual.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm looking forward to excellent competitions. The contest should be very exciting indeed. We have worked really hard as a consultant team to put together questions that I think we will enjoy. Beyond the contestants though, you know, there are a lot of people that come around, the fans that come around. I'm expecting that every contest should have at least one thing they learn before they leave.
You shouldn't just come and give
No, don't come and make noise and go away without learning anything. Try and learn some science. Try and learn some math before you go away. So that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to an exciting experience for all of us.
Okay, well, final words to the big boys and the big girls. Your final words to the big boys, because that's your favorite word, the big boys and the big girls.
Yes, well, by the time we get to the quarters, we are meeting the big boys and girls, right? And I want to congratulate all of them for making it this far. If you've made it this far, you are already a champion in your own right. Take this as an opportunity to build on something that you use as a stepping stone to bigger and better things. If you don't win, it's not the end of the world. It's what you do with the opportunity that matters.
And that's how we're wrapping up for the AM News this morning, ushering us into the start of the conversations, starting with a news review. And Dr. Kwame Asasante is joining us to review the newspapers. We're back in a bit.
Welcome back. Time now for us to get into the news review. We're grateful that you've rejoined us, and joining us this morning, as always, on a Wednesday morning, Dr. Kwame Asante. He is a political scientist and director of the Center for European Studies at the University of Ghana. He joins the conversation. Good morning, Doc.
Good morning, Ben. Good morning, Sweetie. Good morning to our viewers.
Doc, I know you have a lot to say about yesterday's conclusion of the day in Parliament, but maybe that will be included in your 2-minute take, but take us away. What's on your mind?
I think all that I wanted to say yesterday, I said them on Ben's program.
Right.
So the little that I have is that if you look at how far we have come as a country in terms of our democratic development, it's my prayer and my appeal to people that let us work to maintain this democracy at all times. Democracy has its own problems all over the world, but those who have been able to work within the framework and right the wrongs as they move along are those we emulate today as the best democratic experience or experiment. I am praying and hoping that our leaders, political actors, electorate will always have at the back of their minds that, yes, even though democracy does not deliver all that we expect from them in terms of dividends, but for me, it is the only game in town. All right? Any other route will not lead us well. That's my humble submission this morning.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kwame Asante. Let's get right into the newspapers. I have the Ghanaian Publisher. Let me start from there. Afenyo Markin to trigger recall of Parliament reaffirms commitment to peace. Attorney General defends constitutionality of MPs retaining seats. Ghana to bag $5 billion from green gold annually. And on election 2024, Adaklu residents better off with NPP, according to Dr. Mamudu Baumia. Let's get into the newspaper now and get some details on these stories and then come to you for reflection. I'll start from the Attorney General's defense of the constitutionality of the MPs retaining their seats. Now, the Attorney General and Minister for Justice, Godfrey Boadu, has stated that the decision of a sitting member of Parliament to contest a future parliamentary election under a different circumstance other than on the tickets on which he or she got elected to serve in the present Parliament should not lead to the vacation of his or her seat in the existing Parliament. Now, the Attorney General, Godfrey Boadu, took this position in his statement of defense in the case of Alexander Afenyo Markin versus the Speaker of Parliament and the Attorney General, which was filed at the Registry of the Supreme Court on Monday, 21st October. So the Attorney General is also weighing in on the conversation. Let me do two more stories in addition to this, and then I'll come to you, Doc. Afenyo Markin to trigger recall of Parliament. This was going around yesterday. The Majority Leader and MP for Ifutu, Honorable Alexander Afenyo Markin, has announced plans by NPP caucus to trigger a recall of Parliament today, that is Wednesday, October 23rd. Quote, God willing, tomorrow, which is today, the majority will trigger the recall of Parliament because of the actions of the Speaker undermining parliamentary work so that the economy will suffer. And so we will trigger the recall of Parliament and we will see what he, which is Bagbin, will do. A court has ordered you to take action and you're going around the issue. Meanwhile, he's not Parliament, so we will trigger a recall. Okay, so Afenyo Markin is saying they'll trigger a recall today. We'll be monitoring and see where that goes. And one more story, Ghana to bag $5 billion annually from green gold. I think we did this yesterday as well. Ghana stands to rake in some $5 billion annually from the green gold agenda spearheaded by the executive of GAFTRAM. And according to Professor Samuel Ato Duncan, that's the president of the General COA Research and Manufacturing Limited, and the president of Green Gold for Ghana, quote, we expect this to generate over $5 billion annually, which is more than that of our proceeds from the cocoa industry, he said. You can pick a copy of this and read for yourself. Let me just chip in. IEA wants Newmont's Achim gold mine sold to local investors. And that story about Newmont's preparing to hand over their mines or their business to some Chinese investors. And this has started happening all the way from last year, where they asked for bids, but no local investor actually could mobilize the money. But now IEA is questioning the government on why they're selling this on why Newmont, or they have allowed Newmont to sell their mines to Chinese investors. But Doc, your take on these three stories?
I'll look at the direct call of Parliament by Entrepreneurship Market. My first question is that why are we where we are now? The second is, if we want to get out of here, is it a way out? Right. Why we are where we are, we know it too well for me to recount it here. But why do we want to, the second question, why do we want to be here? You know, it's a problem. It's a problem in the sense that, look, this is not the time for Mr. Afenyo-Markin to say that, look, we want to trigger a process like this. This is a time to jaw. There's a time to talk to each other and find an lasting solution to the problem. If you want to trigger such a process, you get another response of people that, well, if you are successful in getting the speaker to Parliament, what about the speaker also tells you that I am awaiting the determination of the issue by Supreme Court? We come back to the same point. So I believe that the best way out is for the two leaders of the House sitting and meeting each other to discuss the way forward. But to go and trigger this process, which is not wrong, is part of their rights, but in politics, it goes beyond rights. Consensus building is the key in matters of this nature. So this is what I would say. Yeah, because the party has more to lose when this process that they want to trigger tend to have a boomerang effect to be on them. So they need to tread cautiously. Right. Yes. I think this is all that I have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you going to another story, or should I add more stories to it?
Please add more.
Okay. So let me get into a bit of the story about IEA wanting Newmont's Achim gold mine to be sold to local investors. For context, so the Institute of Economic Affairs has urged the government to consider local investors for the sale of Newmont's Achim gold mine when the lease with the company expires in January next year. Citing national security concerns, the Institute advised that the government limited foreign investors' stake in the critical mineral sector to safeguard the country's economic interests and national security. It has therefore cautioned against a planned sale of the gold mine to Xinjiang Mining Group of China for $1 billion USD, as reported on the Business Times on October 9, 2024. Let me run through the rest of the stories here. Stakeholders' involvement in preventing cocoa is key in preventing cocoa smuggling, according to Cocoa Board. AMA partners Das Biogas Limited to generate eco-friendly, cost-effective renewable energy. National Health Insurance Authority settles more than 800 million Ghana cedis debt to service providers. Let me get a bit of this. The National Health Insurance Authority says it has settled outstanding debt owed to health service providers on the scheme. Now, Dr. Dakosa Boadu, that's the CEO, said the claims had been settled up to August 2024, with some additional payments made in October 2024. And he made this known at Dwaboso in the Western North region, where the authority inaugurated its new district office on Thursday. Next of kin, a deceased bank account holder is not automatic beneficiary, says the Bank of Ghana. This is important. Now, did you know that if you are made the next of kin of a bank account by a friend or relative, you do not have automatic access to funds in the account should the account holder die. Well, according to the Bank of Ghana, the next of kin is only a nominee of the account holder who serves as a primary contact in the event where the bank is unable to reach the account holder. That clarification is important. These are just some stories here in the Ghanaian Publisher. On the back page, Works and Housing Minister urges surveyors to address financing gap in construction sector. We brought that story to you in the news. Group of university lecturers denounce UTAG's strike. Well, it is in the fight against Galamsey. But that's it for the Ghanaian Publisher. Any quick reflections?
Sweetie, I'll be glad if you can just explain to me a little bit about the green gold.
Right.
I don't know. I've not read the story before, so I have no idea. But I think it's promising, a very interesting story.
Yeah, that's so Ghana stands to rake in some I think I've read this a bit.
Yeah, but what is it? The green gold, what is it? If I have an idea, I'll be able to.
Okay, the green... Hold on a second.
If it will take your time, let's move on.
Yeah, I'll find it for you while Ben...
Right. If it's mining, well, if it's not mining, then...
Because the story says it will bring in more than the mining and cocoa industry. So just give me a second. Ben, you go on. Let me find this for you.
So, Doc, you can give us your response.
I can go on.
Yes.
I want to look at the IEA and Newmont issue. I think some of these things start from the very time that they develop contracts for such programs. We forget to make sure that at the end of the day, the person who should succeed or inherit this thing should be a Ghanaian. The local content development, which the laws of this country shed light as to how we should do it. But more often than not, when we draw contracts or we prepare contracts, we shortchange ourselves in this country. I've seen that in government contracts and a host of other contracts. This is not good enough. We are a state, and that if there is any benefit, we should be the first port of call to benefit from this. So I am also wondering why we will not be able to take advantage of it. Okay. What is also interesting is the fact that when the Newmont company, when they advertised, we didn't get a single Ghanaian who showed interest. Is it the case that we don't have such people who have the wherewithal, the financial wherewithal, to marshal all the financial resources to be able to get this and make it a local content program?
Look, $1 billion US. No Ghanaian company could do that.
Yes, but you are not expecting only one person to be able to do this. It can be a group of businessmen coming together to look at this. It tells you that we have not developed businesses to the height that they can really be on their feet to engage in such activities to get businesses for us. This is the time for political parties who want power to think about developing people than destroying businesses in this country. We have had so many examples where parties end up they hate you to the core, to the hilt or to the core, and then they destroy your business and all that. And these are some of the effects that we tend to have.
Doc, so the green gold is traditional medicines. So to, do research, thorough research, and develop them to international standards for the global market as another commodity. So traditional medicine, simply.
I will touch on this because for me, anything that can add to the kitty that we have in this country is a plus, and we need to jump onto that. We have green gold, that is, traditional medicine. Then we have white gold, that is salt.
Yeah.
We have real gold and the rest of them, but yet we are poor. God, in his wisdom, has blessed this country with a lot of resources that other countries do not have. Britain one of the richest countries in the world, has nothing but what? Coal, only coal in their soil. We have everything, and yet we are poor. Is it not interesting to find out why we are this? My country, your country, we have not taken the trouble to look at this, that we have everything. If you look at factors for production, things that we use to produce all the beautiful things in terms of development in the world, we virtually have them here. Gold can be used for so many things. Diamond, the rest of them. Why are we where we are? That we have not been able to add value. And now we use them to destroy our environment, and eventually it's going to consume all of us. I think there is something wrong.
Right.
We as a society must reflect and reflect well and make the best out of the resources that God has given to us. In fact, God is a very good person. Otherwise, if he happened to be one of us, I'm sure all of us would die of hunger, because having blessed you with all the things that should make you better, you are still crying for God's help, then I don't know what we want.
Thank you so much, Doc. Ben, your paper now.
Well, let's get into the Daily Guide newspaper. Bawumia Adaklu chief signed fresh deal that has already been got into. Ghana Armed Forces refute military interference claims. 4 MPs brouhaha. Bagbin suspends Parliament. Court frees 7 protesters. SNIT pays 3.7 billion Ghana cedis to pensioners. On the back page, some sporting stories. Forest owner banned for spitting. Beach soccer boss optimistic despite AFCON fiasco. Neymar returns after a year, and Kudus lost his head. I think there should be more people talking to the 24-year-old to get his head right. I think too many things are happening. He needs to get grounded so that he can manage the situation. For much younger people, controlling emotions and all of that may be tricky, and he needs to learn that very quickly. But I'll start from the story on the back page. Nottingham Forest owner Evangelos Marinakis has been handed a 5-match stadium ban for, quote, improper conduct after he was found guilty of spitting at the feet of referee Josh Smith in the tunnel after their defeat to Fulham. Marinakis denied the FA charge at his hearing but was hit with a suspension on October 18 with full written judgment released on October 22. Where systems work. Beach soccer. So Ghana Beach Soccer, the Ghana Beach Soccer Association. Sometimes you wonder why, not just on TV and radio, but you have newspapers starting Ghana Beach Soccer without adding an article. And you're qualifying it. The Ghana Beach Soccer Association boss, Yao Ampofo-Ankra, in an exclusive interview with Benos Ebonsu on Guide Sports Extra, has reaffirmed his confidence in the future of beach soccer in Ghana. Of course, that is regardless of the AFCON fiasco. And but let me get into the main stories. So 4 MPs brouhaha on page 3. The Speaker of Parliament, Alban S.K. Bagbin, Sumana Kingsford Bagbin, has announced the indefinite adjournment of Parliament following the Supreme Court ruling and concerns about the current quorum of the House. I'll not go into that story too much because we already know what has happened and how yesterday he decided, which had been expected, which some members of Parliament had spoken about, he adjourned the House sine die. What that means for the rest of the parliamentary term or session, well, we'll all find out. Then, flaunting the hooliganism tag. That's an editorial there, interesting but not surprising to see it in the Daily Guide newspaper. You can check it out on page 4. There's also Jimmy Gardner to attend Global Youth Shakers Awards in Paris. And Germany detects first Mpox variant, that is case. It's a different strain, and they are detecting that for the first time. On page 6, so let me quickly do this one. The Ghana Armed Forces have refuted media reports suggesting that military personnel were deployed to the Grand Arena of the Accra International Conference Center to interfere with parliamentary proceedings during the 5th meeting of the 4th session on Tuesday, October 22, 2024. A statement issued by the Director of Public Relations, Brigadier General Agri Kwashi, on Tuesday, October 22, 2024, said on Monday, October 21, 2024, the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Kingsford Sumana Bagman, through the Clerk of Parliament, formally requested security assistance from the Ghana Armed Forces for routine canine and bomb sweeps of the chamber. It said the standard procedure was conducted on the first sitting day of the week, typically on Tuesdays, whenever members of Parliament convened outside the traditional Parliament House. And so that is the situation there. They are giving some clarity. And SNIT paid 3.7 billion to pensioners during the third. So they are saying that they paid that amount as pension benefits during the third quarter of 2024, and they are expected to pay about 4.8 billion Ghana cedis by the end of the year. Any reflections on any of these stories? And then we move on. Doc?
I will look at the Ghana Forces story. It's good that the Speaker made that prior arrangement before the day. And when they came also, we saw them. But I want to tie this one with something that none of the papers has featured it. And what is it? It's Ghana Forces were officially invited to come and take charge of the security or even support the security system that was in place. Then my question is, who invited the MPP supporters to the place? Who? That is a difficult one, because
our reporter indicated that a lot of them had shirts referencing Nsawam Edwajiri, and that they had been bussed there. We couldn't get to confirm from the Nsawam Edwajiri MP, Anodompre, about the situation. At least I couldn't, and at the time I was watching, Kweku Asante, our parliamentary correspondent, was not able to do so. To find out from him, because he's a leader, one of the leaders of the MPP, how all these people, hundreds of them, the last time we looked, about 300 of them got to be in the precincts of, Parliament. No one knows.
Yes. Let's, for purposes of conversation, let's assume that somebody did. We don't know that person, but within the MPP. Why? A matter of this nature, you send supporters to do what? Yesterday, I was looking forward to seeing them to do what, the reason why they brought them there, to execute that. Because yes, you came to Parliament to do what? Very shameful. Because if NDC had done the same thing, the story would have been different. And I believe that matters of this nature, this, necessary partisan position that we take on things, it doesn't help anybody. It doesn't. Because I don't know the role that they play. Meanwhile, this Parliament had issued a statement prior to that day about security arrangement and the public, in public gallery and all that. So why? If other parties also decided that, or even ordinary Ghanaians decide that we are also going there in our numbers, what would have been the situation? Whoever did that must bow his or her head in shame. And that we will not countenance that. We want to save our democracy. When there are problems, leaders will sit and talk. Ben and Sweetie, I've worked in Parliament as a reporter. So at least I'm conversant with some of these things. That anytime there is trouble, the leaders plus the Speaker, they find lasting solution to that. So I don't expect this type of approach, sending people there to do what? Later, the Speaker has given his ruling. Yes, whatever was on their minds, they should have gone ahead to tell the Speaker. Did they have that courage? Did they have that courage to do that? And we don't work in a democracy like that. We don't. It's next to violence, and we don't want that. It's a shameful act, and it should not be repeated.
Thank you, Doc, for your reflections on these stories.
Okay, I'll do my last paper now. That's the Daily Searchlight. No Parliament until further notice. I think we've dissected this enough. But, Doc, I do want to ask, did you get the clarity from the Speaker yesterday on exactly why, he didn't say that he's adjourning Parliament and then added a condition that until something is done. You just said indefinitely. So did you get that
No.
clarity as to why exactly? Did he say, is it because of the injunction? Is it because of the public interest in the matter? Did you get that clarity on why the Speaker
I got that.
What did you
He
get
said
from
that,
it?
look, per the standing orders, I've forgotten the relevant portion that he quoted.
104 and 102.
Yes, one of it, you need a quorum, and that guy is the quorum. Yes, the quorum, you need that. But the quorum is, I think, 1/3. But if you need a decision to be taken in Parliament, then you need half of the members in there, and he didn't have them. People were wondering how he came.
He didn't say how many people were present in Parliament yesterday.
No, he said that there is an office, I've forgotten the name of the office, I think table office. Yeah.
Right.
The table office are those who take data on those who go to represent in Parliament. That every attendance, the table office furnish him, I'm sure, with the attendance list and the number. So he was speaking from a point of information. The table office, that's what they do. So they will tell you, Mr. Speaker, these are people who are in the chamber at the time of so and so and so. Those who have every MP goes to Parliament, and then you go through register. You go and register that you are present and all that. So he had that information, because if he had gotten it wrong, the NPP group would have challenged that.
That's true. Okay.
Yes. So that is the clarity again. And then when they say Synodine, what it means that Parliament is adjourning without fixing a date of return.
Exactly.
That is what it means. That is indefinitely. So when you hear adjourn Synodine, you are not coming back at any time.
Until further notice.
Yes.
Interesting times ahead. But let's do some more stories now. We can trust Alan for industrialization in the north, according to Alhaji Boniface Sadiq. Putin gathers allies to show West pressure isn't working. That's on international front. Early voting in full swing in U.S. election. Harris and Trump tied in polls. That's also another interesting one to watch in America. CDD Ghana edges calm amidst parliamentary tensions following Supreme Court's ruling. Mobile money accounts surpassed 65 million Ghana cedis transactions, exceeding the 1.9 trillion, according to Bank of Ghana. Let's do this story. Now, the 2023 fintech sector reports by the Bank of Ghana has revealed significant growth in the country's digital financial landscape, with mobile money accounts surpassing 65 million Ghana cedis and transaction values exceeded 1.9 trillion Ghana cedis. And this marks a major milestone in Ghana's journey towards a more inclusive and cash-lit economy. And this growth is driven by the increasing adoption of mobile financial services, which provides a reliable and efficient means for millions of Ghanaians, especially in underserved and rural areas, to access financial services. There's also the story here about IEA wants Newmont Achim gold mine sold to local investors. An editorial saying, respectfully, Mr. Attorney General, we disagree. Would you marry someone with kids? Of course, I don't know. Would you? Let us know. GJAEC calls for applications for media accreditation to cover 2024 general election. And this is important. The Ghana Journalists Association and the Electoral Commission have open application period for media houses to apply to be properly accredited to cover this year's presidential and parliamentary elections. So if you fall in that category, please take note. Firewood and charcoal, the silent killer in our kitchens. And later on today, we'll bring you that hotline documentary from charcoal to LPG. And Ghanaian German entrepreneur takes on Galamsey, challenges government to let her handle the battle. Oh, interesting. Those are just some stories here on the back page. There's nothing here on the back page. National Health Insurance Authority opens new district office in Damongo. Doc, any of these stories pique your interest?
I'll start with Alan's story on industrialization. We have heard time and again that our leaders, when they are looking for power, they have all the beautiful ideas to industrialize this country because that's the... But when they get power, we experience something different. 1D, 1F. Where is it? Simply because we as the electorate and citizenry, we have not taken the trouble to look at what they promise and match it against what they deliver. Every time you see politicians, because we leave them off the hook, they come back with series of promises. And obviously, a lot of them will end being unfulfilled. This is a time for us to change the status quo and make sure that what they promised us previous campaign, we want to see whether they've been actualized or not, so that we can take a decision. So I'm urging voters that when they come to you with promises, all parties, not only the butterfly movement, no, but all of them, all the parties, when they come, ask them, those who had opportunity to rule, who had opportunity to campaign and then got power, you ask them, where did you go from your promise? Then you are able to what? Interrogate the issue and make informed decision. You don't repeat the previous mistake in the next election. Otherwise, it will be an albatross that will hang you one day. The issue of charcoal and firewood as one of the factors that send us to our graves. It's interesting to look at here. Every time we talk about green gun and the rest of them, I look at it and ask, is this just a slogan or is something that we are serious about? Because every time you look around, you see truck fully loaded of charcoal into the city. And we ask ourselves, do we still have the forest intact? We don't. We destroy the forest and cutting all the trees that will serve as windbreak, and then at the end of the day, we suffer climatic conditions. We are not bothered about the ecosystem, because if we do, we wouldn't allow galamseers to have a field day like this. Right. The environment is not important to us, yet we are signatories to environmental regulations all over the world. I don't know why we are doing such a thing to ourselves. What has happened to LPG gas and its extension to homes and families and the rest of them? We need to quicken this process if we want to save the environment, we want to save our forests. And then CDD's admonition, calling for calm within the political space by the political actors involved in this, quagmire in Parliament. I think we need sober heads to reflect on the issue and deal with the issues head on. If we get away from this and without dealing with the problem head on, this will rear its ugly head again when we are going for elections the next time. I have seen within the Ghanaian political space that if there are problems, we try to pay lip service to them. Once we get out of the election, it is forgotten, only to re-emerge or reappear in the next election. And sometimes people add on to the existing problem, and we tend to have more problems. We shouldn't risk our democracy that causes a lot of resources to bring it this far. It is the only system that we have, and we must jealously guard against it.
Absolutely. Thank you, Doc. Ben, more papers?
Well, let me get into some stories, political, and then I'll get into some other stories. The Custodian newspaper, that's where I'm going to end. Adaklu residents better off under NPP, that's according to Baumia. AG files defense in 4 MPs case. NDC turning Parliament into lawless theatre, that's according to Afenyo Markin. And pick up your passports, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs tells applicants. But the leader of the NPP, let me put it that way, this whole majority-minority thing is becoming problematic. The leader of the NPP caucus in Parliament, Alexander Afenyo Markin, has slammed the opposition NDC for turning Parliament into a lawless theatre. He, however, assured the public that the governing NPP, which was committed to democracy and the rule of law, would not allow the main opposition party to destroy the legislative arm of government with its lawlessness. Mr. Afenyo Markin stated these after the NDC members of Parliament yesterday insisted they were still the majority caucus in Parliament. But we know how that turned out. So in terms of the Speaker's ruling, NHIA settles over 800 million Ghana cedi debt to service providers, and the NHIA has disclosed that it has settled outstanding debt owed to health service providers on the scheme. Dr. Da Costa Boadu, Chief Executive Officer of NHIA, said the claims had been settled up to August 2024 with some additional payments made in October 2024. A few more stories to get into. Firewood and charcoal, the silent killer in our kitchens, or maybe killers, I should say. Reverend Reku. The NPA, the National Petroleum Authority, in collaboration with the Oil Sustainability Program under the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia's Ministry of Energy and Digicraft Advertising, has launched a week-long liquefied petroleum gas campaign in the Volta region. It's an awareness and sensitization campaign. This initiative aims at educating the public on the health and environmental benefits of using LPG for cooking, targeting key stakeholders such as community leaders, market queens, among others. It also feeds into our latest Hotline documentary, Gas for Charcoal, or is it the other way around? So it raises some points about how women and children who spend most of their time in kitchens are particularly vulnerable to the harmful pollutants released by firewood smoke and charcoal smoke as well. But here are some stories I'm sure you'd be interested in as well. The Attorney General and Minister for Justice, Mr. Godfrey Boadu, has filed statements in the Supreme Court case brought by Majority Leader Alexander Afenyo-Market. The Member of Parliament for Ifutu is challenging the decision by the Speaker, Alban Kingsford-Bagwin, to declare the seats of 4 members vacant after they filed their nominations. As the second defendant in the case, the AG filed a statement yesterday in which he argued that the 1992 Constitution does not require MPs to vacate their seats if they file to contest a future election as an independent candidate or under a different party's ticket. So he's also given his reaction to the matter. I'll end with these ones on the entertainment front. Ghanaian laws only apply to the poor. That's according to musician Kwabena. And Efia Odo, Ghanaian socialite, actress Efia Odo says, "I'll never submit to a broke guy." That's Efia Odo. Born Andrea, or the Spanish comes in sometimes, Andrea Owusu. And she has stirred up some angst on social media in a recent episode of a popular podcast, Rants, Bants, and Confessions. She says she will never submit to a broke guy. I guess the internet will have receipts. Dr. Kwame Asante, any thoughts for us on these stories?
Yes, I will touch on that human interest story from Efia Odo. Efia, I respect your view, but there's a price to pay for such a position. So I will leave you with that message. All right. I will look at the NHIS and the way they've settled accumulated debt over the period. It's a good thing, but we have to strengthen the institution to be able to do more and then expand it to cover other areas of health so that people can really have access to health care. And that is the way to go. Applaud them for the good work done. But as children of Oliver, we want more. And we want to see more improvement and more support so that our people will have a sigh of relief. Healthcare is so expensive. But if we cut the expenses, unnecessary expenses that we make in this country, and channel all those things into this type of business, I'm sure the cocoa seller, the wachi seller will be very much happy, and Ghana will be proud as what? A country.
Thank you for those thoughts. Maybe I should just leave you with this. Cameroon's Paul Biya, he's been in power for how long? He's only the second after Teodoro Obiang of Equatorial Guinea. He's 91, and there have been a lot of rumors about his death. Recently, he showed up at the Yaoundé airport and all of that. But I ask myself, I mean, this guy is the second president of Cameroon. He's been prime minister. He's been second. Let me just check how long he's been in power. I think since the 80s. He served as the second president of Cameroon since 1982, having been previously the 5th prime minister of Cameroon from 1975 to 1982. So let's say from 1975, this man has been in power from 1975 to 2024. Sometimes African leaders. Doc, if you have any final words, now would be the time.
It's nothing but power corrupts, and power corrupts absolutely. And you, law students and lawyers, will tell us this is nothing but what? Res ipsa locutor.
Dr. Asa Asante, thank you very much for joining the conversation this morning. Dr. Kwame Asa Asante, he's a political scientist. He's also head of the Center for European Studies, and he joined Sweetie Abochi and yours truly. For now, though, we get into sports, all the sporting action. Neymar is back. Maybe we'll see some footage from him. But sports is up next. Do stay.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to AM Sports here with me, Muftau Nabila Abdullah. We are in the wake of Joy Sports Invitational Tournament 2024 happening at the University of Ghana Sports Stadium on Saturday, October 26. And we have been visiting some of the companies that have signed up to participate in this corporate sport event. First, let's bring you the build-up that is being put together by Labade Beach Hotel, where their MD, Mr. David Eduafo, says that he has hired Pep Guardiola to come and train him for the penalty kicks and also train his boys to win all the trophies that will be on the table on Saturday. This is a sporty event, right? But people will need to find places to lay their heads before they come to the Joy Sports Invitational. So why should they come to Labade Beach Hotel?
I think that's a very good question that you've asked, and I'm sure that really goes to justify why we have been acknowledged as the CIMG Hospitality Facility of the Year 3 years in a row. And for us as a hotel, whatever we do, everybody knows we're in the space of offering accommodation, conferencing, meetings, exhibitions here and there. But we are very, very particular about service. And so service excellence is our hallmark. And it tells in the food, in our delivery, in terms of how quality our food comes out, how our staff are very, very meticulous and very, very particular about dealing with people, the guests. We leave them with experiences, and as they come through, you walk through the corridors of Labade Beach Hotel, we leave you with nothing but memorable experiences, and that is the more reason why people need to look out. Having some wonderful time here at Labade Beach Hotel.
Asking people to look out, what should we look out from you and your team on Saturday?
You know, on Saturday, it's a different level at all. We have been known to be selling rooms, selling food, selling tea, selling coffee, as one of my directors will say. But on Saturday, we are going to demonstrate to the entire world, Ghana in particular, what we are known for that people do not know about us. In terms of sporting activities and all the disciplines that has been highlighted, we're going to take part. And I'm telling you, as we stand here, our CEO, Mr. David Eduavo, remember, he also currently is a CIMG Marketing Man of the Year. Yeah. So that tells you, I mean, we're very, very particular about this event. We're going to make sure that we sweep all the awards in the various disciplines on Saturday. As we speak now, he is in camp somewhere, and we've brought in Pep Guardiola. I'm telling you, Pep Guardiola is in town. Nobody knew about this. And he's training and giving him some tidbits. So when it comes to that CEO's penalty cakes, you're going to have the best and the most sweetest spot ever from Mr. David Eduavo, our managing director. And of course, he's a tennis player. So I'm sure he's going to take on one of the CEOs who have been playing tennis in this country. And certainly, I have no doubt in the capabilities of Mr. David Eduavo. He's going to come up tops. People do not know. And as I speak to you now, my MD, who has been on cam, has been released, and he's walking behind us now just to catch a glimpse of what is happening.
Where is he? I'm good. Welcome. I've seen your men preparing, and
we are on fire. Come Saturday, you will see what Labadi can produce. We are on fire. Even myself, I'm well grounded and I'm trained. If I tell you who has been training me, you will not believe it.
Who is training you?
Well. Pep is here. You know, we have presidential suites. He's one of my presidential suites, purposely to train me to take the penalties. So we're not joking, man.
Kwesichum has a threat.
He has a threat. When it comes to the tennis, I know there is a particular CEO who trains every weekend, but he doesn't know the skill of my MD. So this is a challenge. My MD will play Mr. McDan. My MD will play him and my MD will beat him to it because we are fired. This Saturday, we will show and showcase Labadi in a different way when it comes to sports to Mother Ghana.
Talking about McDan, even he himself, he knows. Oh, he knows. Our team was in the McDan Stadium at the La. Yeah. Oh, we beat them all. Massa, we are on fire. You know? Labadi is on fire. My team is well prepared, and you see what we'll do on Saturday. I'll leave the rest because sometimes if you just leave the rest for you to see on Saturday.
And on Saturday, you will have to be at the University of Ghana Sports Stadium to see what Labadi Beach will show the world. Now, let me take you to ARB Apex Bank, and their MD, Mr. Alex Kwesi Ewua, says that his team is ready to win all the trophies on Saturday. Wow. The MD, the way everyone is sweating, the MD is doing something special. Who are we? ARB Apex Bank, together for progress. And when people come together, there's always progress. When they assembled here, because they came together, that's why we had the incredible atmosphere we had just a couple of moments ago. That suggests that, come on, as one would always tell you that when you need progress, you go to where there is progress, and ARB Apex Bank is that. There isn't any better home for you to consider being a part of an ARB Apex Bank, because together there will be progress for you and there will be progress for the bank as well. I see Together for Progress.
Yeah, definitely. You know, the solidity of this network is what we talk about. In Ghana, when all rural banks are, you see the chain? Yeah. Signifies all the rural banks joining together. And we believe that with this, we can make greater impact in Ghana. And we can serve Ghanaians well. Ghanaians who don't have access to financial services, they can. And so you can understand the potential and the opportunities that we create. So we're big.
ARB is big. Indeed, they are. Because I'm not sure you will ever walk to any office where people are together and there will not be progress. And ARB, Apex Bank, is our bank that provides us that. MD, let me just wrap up with you.
All right.
Is there anything special you've been planning with your team?
Oh, yeah, we've been rehearsing, and you know the spirit. The spirit itself should tell you that Saturday is going to be a great day, and everybody will be excited, and Ghanaians will watch what will happen.
When I went to multi-choice, they said they have two plans, Plan A and Plan B. Plan A is to win, and Plan B is to ensure that you don't miss Plan A. Which plans do you have?
So, you see, for the past 10 years, you've not heard of ARB Apex Bank in the games. We have been preparing. In fact, in 2000, we decided to dissolve our team to go for training. Our MD just came from Morocco. Looking at the environment, the DMD is taking the team B. He's now in Burkina. They are on their way coming. And when we go there, we promise you and promise everybody that we will not relent in our effort to take the cup. So we are coming with full vim, coming like Kakai. Expect us.
Yeah, you see, MD, permit me to spill this secret. Our MD, the founding members of Adriana Stars, only 6 players that were founding members of Adriana Stars, he was a striker. So be ready. You know Ronaldinho is coming to town. It's because of one of our players. They played in academy in PSG. So you should be ready. Have you ever seen anything beautiful like this? Wow. Just be ready. See, it's better you people start writing our names on the cap. Yeah. Your serious challenge. Yafa. The football, we are giving you the. See, we are giving you the chance. We are the only team who will play a professional game with handicap. Who present 8 players. Any other team present 11. We don't care.
We are there already. We are there already. We are there. We can assure you that we are going to win all the cups. Don't take us for a joke. You will see our show. Watch us, watch us, watch us.
Hello, hello, hello. This is Team Apex.
Yes, ARB Apex Bank, the regulatory body of your 147 rural and community banks in Ghana.
You know what that means? Our over 8 million customers across the country are throwing their support behind us.
Here is the catch. Come 26th of October 2024 at the University of Ghana Sports Stadium.
Come and observe our outstanding performance in female soccer, male soccer, and unisex sack race.
Tag of feet, and lime and spoon.
We are bringing the trophies home.
Yes, we are bringing our A game on. Nothing but the best.
At ARB Apex Bank and all rural and community banks in Ghana, we say together for progress.
And now we take you to Premier Health Insurance, where Percy Crow and his team is also saying that they are coming to the University of Ghana Stadium purposefully to target the Chief Operations Officer of the Multimedia Group, Ken Ansah. He says Ken is his friend, but on Saturday, they will not be friends. They will only be friends after the competition.
Thank you. Welcome to Adansi Travels. Am I in the building? Go back so you can see everybody. Come over. But quick question. What were you singing High Life or you were doing Jamal? Which one? Which is
it was Miss Fashion.
All right.
We are a company, we have experienced diverse cultures all over the world. So what we just did was a fusion of several cultures around the world. So it is not a particular music form.
We are going to win this game. And trust me, this is Adansi Travels. We take people all over the world. Qatar we go, right? London we go, right? Doha we go, right? Germany we go, right? Ghana itself is our home. And you know, where they are playing the match itself, where they are playing a match, it is our home. And even today, we are training there. We have our full team. We are going there this afternoon to train. We are waiting for you because we are going to fill the stadium. We play the ball. We play the ball. We are going to fill the stadium. Adansi Travels. Adansi Travels. Adansi Travels.
Now, so we've heard all sorts of things. There are those who say they've got, there are those who say they've got green blood in their system. There are those who say they have special people who are toning their muscles. There are those who also say they have players who are trading in the bush. And there are those who say they have, Thomas Partey training their CEO. Okay, what's happening with your CEO? Tell me, because the CEO's penalty shootout is going to be very, very hot.
You see, the CEO's penalty shootout, I have a special guest who has to speak about it. And he's here with me, Mr. Michael Jumo.
Okay, all right.
So Adansi Travels, we are known for exploring the world, all the best places in the world. So our CEO is at a secret coded location somewhere on the day of the tournament. He's coming in a chartered flight. So we've gathered all the best coaches in the world. Pep Guardiola, Mourinho, you name it. He's under serious training at a coded location.
Okay, so I want you to confirm something for me. One of the other teams also said they had Pep Guardiola. So who really has Pep Guardiola?
We have the original. So we must question them where their Pep Guardiola is. We have Pep Guardiola's passport here.
Oh, you have his passport here?
His passport is here.
I see. Wow. People, they say that they have the original Pep Guardiola here, and his passport is here in this building. Wow.
And Slot is actually a personal trainer. We never walk alone. So we have Slot. We have been to Liverpool. The Premier League top test. So how can anybody beat Adansi Travels?
All right. And that interests me a little bit. The ladies, the penalty shootouts and all of that. Why is everybody walking away? Tell me about it. The ladies in the other companies also say, look, everybody should forget it. What do you have to tell them, finally?
Kudus plays in London. Adansi goes to London. In fact, Eben is going to meet Kudus. So, how can any lady How can any lady who's in Ghana here say that they can take better penalties when we go to all the players? In fact, Nico Williams in Spain, we were there. So all the other companies, they should show us where they have been going. We have international training.
All right, guys, so you've heard it from them. We're building up to the main draw on Thursday and then the main day on Saturday. Now, the University of Ghana Stadium is just like a walk from here. And Adansi Travels say this is their home ground. So everybody else should forget it. All right.
We are Adansi Travels. Play for peace. Yeah, 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 yeah.
All of you are healthy. I can understand why. Because of Premier Health Insurance, all of you are very strong. The energy here is incredible. No wonder you are the bridge to the health of.
Our name signifies that we are first, and we are numero uno. We are poised. We are ready. As you can see, anybody who come our way will be flawed. Who are we?
We are health insurance. Your bridge to Premier Healthcare.
Who are we?
We are Premier Health Insurance. Your bridge to Premier Healthcare.
Oh, now I understand why. Yeah, now I understand why. You bridge the gap. You make it easy. You make it easy. You make it easy. You make it easy. Wow, 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 wow. Hey. What exactly do you do?
Premier Health Insurance is a private health insurance company. We have products for all categories of people. We have corporate institutions. We have corporate plans for corporate institutions. Individuals, we have a Pomodin plan that any individual can get. And then we have the micro health insurance that is aimed at getting workers on government payrolls, teachers and other government workers. And now the new one on the block now is the comfort plan. The comfort plan is a plan that we have specially designed for a lot of people in the country. By just paying only 5 cedis a month, you are able to get access to a doctor when you are sick.
Hang on. Did you say 5 Ghana cedis?
You heard me right. Only 5 Ghana cedis. What you need to buy in Katie. That is what we have done. That is what we have done for people to have excellent health care. So by just buying only 5 cedis, you just have to buy through your Momo, *988#. And then you will go through the motion and then it will be registered. When you are sick, there is a doctor to attend to you. Just call the number that it will give you. Call the number, the doctor will attend to you. The doctor will send you a prescription if you don't need any other investigation.
What are you doing behind the scenes? I've spoken to other CEOs. They are training their players in Stamford Bridge. Others are in Camp Nou. Others. In fact, Jetlink say
In fact, they have gone to hire Kwesi Appiah to train them. Labadi says they've gone to bring Pep Guardiola. Who have you hired?
Well, the best coach, Coach Ado, he will come. Best coach in the country, Coach Ado, will be with us. We'll be at the sidelines. And this time we are going to win. We are bringing the trophy home. I must say that I'm aiming at getting your CEO, Ken, to come for the penalties. Oh, we will beat him.
No, Ken, you have just been threatened by your by a very good friend. No, Ken is supposed to be your friend, oh?
Yes, Ken is supposed to be my friend, but when it comes to football competition, he's no more a friend. He's a competitor.
So, what should we look out from Premier Health Insurance on that day?
No, as the name goes, it is Premier. So expect us to take almost everything. We are coming for the foot. As for the football, it's done deal. We will go ahead and with the volley and others, we will try and but we don't know how to play chess, so we will leave that one to them. The rest, we are taking everything.
Chess, you don't do chess?
No. We don't do, you see, chess is for Dadama. We are not Dadama here.
No wonder you've said only 5 cities you can have access to doctor.
Excellent, excellent. So we will certainly take it.
Which one are you doing?
Do not be deceived. The soccer, I'm inside. And the tag of peace, I'm leading the team. In fact, we are winning all. Yes. Because
we wrap up with multi-choice, and they say that they do not only bring the best competitions to us in our homes, they also know how to practice the best competitions. And this is how we're wrapping AM Sports here with me, Muftau Nabila Abdullahi. Sports Invitational 2024 happening at the University of Ghana Sports Stadium on October 26. And today we find ourselves in the midst of the organization that provides you and I the best league in the world, which is the Premier League. The organization that provides you and I the best competition that anyone out there would want to be a part of. The Premier League, La Liga, Serie A, and all other leagues in the world. Anywhere you want to get quality football to watch, you can only get them on MultiChoice. So today, we are here in the offices of MultiChoice. They are participating in the Joy Sports Invitational, which will be happening at the University of Ghana Sports Stadium. And guess what? What I've witnessed so far is quite scary. It's scary because they are already in their gym. I don't know. I don't know whether they want to come and punch people or they want to come and scare everyone out there. And there are a plethora of sporting events that we will have in it. We have swimming, we have lawn tennis, we have penalty kicks for ladies and all that. But they are here lifting metals. I'm wondering, maybe for the tag of peace, right? Is it for the tag of peace?
Yes. We're a total sports house. We have the best sports that the world can ever give anyone. And we expose our staff to all the sports. So for example, we're currently in the gym. You've seen the kind of equipment we have here. Every Thursday evening, the whole office goes off to play football. So we are a coordinated team already. Just last week, we had an interdepartmental competition. And this evening, which is a Thursday evening for us, we'll be at the Joulu Primary School field playing. It's normal. So for us, the invitational is just another normal one for us. If anybody else is coming, I think for your own safety, please don't come because there's a winner. MultiChoice has won it already.
Me, I'm not scaring them.
No, we're not scaring you. It's a fact. If we can bring you 14 football leagues, the World Cup, African Cup of Nations, swimming, cycling, skydiving, cliff diving, what other sports are we not exposed to? It's for your own good. Please, if you've paid any money to multimedia, please go and collect your money. There's a winner already.
So, I beg, please come here. Come here for me. You and the rest of your team. So, the question is, who are we?
We are multi-choice.
Who are we?
We are multi-choice.
Who are we?
We are multi-choice.
Are you winning the swimming?
Yeah.
What about football? Yeah. Ladies penalty kick?
Yeah.
You're still watching the AM show on Joy News. Now, before we get into this round of conversations, let me remind you of some important information that you need to take note of. Medicas Hospital is a modern healthcare facility built with your recovery in mind. We have spacious wards built with your family in mind, a warm and caring pediatric unit built with your children in mind, and we've assembled some of the brightest minds in medicine, led by Dr. Ya Osafo, the drive-time doctor, to serve you. And we offer general medical services as well as specialist services in plastic surgery, obstetrics and gynecology, child health, urology, psychiatry, that is mental health, and eye care. Additionally, we offer a comprehensive medical diagnostic service encompassing endoscopy, medical laboratory services, x-rays, and scans. A 24-hour pharmacy ensures you will always receive efficacious, safe, and affordable medicines. And guess what? We bring you the most powerful medicine of all time, simple human kindness and empathy. We take pride in holding ourselves to the highest attainable standards, and we accept all forms of payment, including from private health insurance companies. You can locate us, Medicas Hospital, at number 10 Kinso Street, near Ashale School Junction, or simply call us on 0501-477-340 or reach us on all social media platforms at Medicas GH. Medicas Hospital, a place of healing. Now, in the build-up for the Joy News EcoBank Habitat Fair 2024, which is happening from the 30th of October to the 4th of November, let's bring you some engagement with some of our sponsors. We started about 2 months ago and we are continuing today. Today, guess who we are speaking with? Syntex Tank. Yes, a tough, a strong. I have with me in the studio Patrick Pono from the sales and marketing team for Syntex Ghana.
Yes, yes.
Patrick, how are you this morning?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you doing today?
I thought you say I am tough, I am strong.
Well,
because
Syntex is tough.
Yeah.
Very strong.
Yeah, I think you guys are doing a lot. And yes. These days, everywhere you pass, you see Syntex Tank, Syntex. Yeah. But for the benefit of those who haven't been following you, tell us a bit more about Syntex Tank.
Well, Syntex started operating about 30 years now. And then we specialize in producing water storage tank and other products. Our water storage tank ranges from 100 liters to 25,000 liters. And we are the first people to introduce white inner layer tanks for easy cleaning purposes. We also introduce double layers tank. We don't just produce double layers tank. We have multiple layers tank for industrial purposes. And we give 7 years warranty to our customers against factory defects. And when you want to get colored tank apart from the normal black one that people normally purchase, we produce and then it goes with no extra cost.
Right.
Across the nation, we have 400 satisfied agents that take care of our customers. You don't need to come all the way to the factory to buy our products. Yeah, so, and aside that, we have virgin material that we use to give quality product for our customers.
I want to understand the significance. I mean, seeing as you are the first to introduce both the inner white layer and the double layer water tanks, what is the significance of that? For a tank, a reservoir of water, what is the significance of a double inner layer and a white inner, is it the white layer? What is the significance?
You know, for the white inner layer tank, it helps in cleaning purposes. When the tank is dirty, inside is dirty.
So you can see that it's dirty.
For the double layers, mostly it's used by household. And when you want to use for industrial purposes, people normally go for the triple layers or multiple layers. So that is the significance of the white inner layer and then the double layers.
Which makes it the best? Absolutely.
Yes.
And this isn't the first time you're coming on board to sponsor the Joy News EcoBank Habitat Fair. You've been on for a couple of years now. What is inspiring you to keep coming back? What even drove you to come back again this year?
Well, we actually plan to reach every household. We want to be a household name in Ghana and across the border as well. So we need to showcase what we have, the quality product that we have. We need to inform the general public of what we have. And I think as we speak now, people are getting to know more about Synthes, and we are entering and then breaking through the boundaries.
In fact, you're doing some community work. You're going to various communities and supplying them with water. I keep seeing it on radio, I think, with Giovanni from another media house. But tell us about that. What's the intention behind
currently we are collaborating with Giovanni, as you rightly said. And then the idea is to give or perform social responsibility. For years now that we started operating, people are with us, they buy our product. We need to give our support to our cherished customers. So we targeted a community with water crisis. And then we give free donation of water to them. And recently we went to Nima, and then we donated 45,000 liters of water to people of Nima. We moved to Teshi. We donated 45,000 of water to Teshi as well. And then before you can be nominated, you just need to go on our social media, Synthes Ghana, you leave a comment, and then you write your community. We have a team that screens. If you qualify, we reach out to you and give you free tank. And as we are doing that, we keep on reminding our customers, our people of Ghana, that in a time of crisis, you need quality water storage tank to store your water for your users.
And distributing over 45,000 liters of water is no small feat. The question I want to ask you now is, how did it feel? Because you say you're going to communities where they don't have access to water or potable water. And so seeing the look on their faces, how does it make you feel?
Well, we feel okay, but we believe without customers, without Ghanaians, we cannot exist.
Right.
They are helping us to grow, so we have to perform our social responsibility. So we feel better.
In a way, you're giving back to the society and the communities that help you reach your targets goal. So let's talk about the EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair. What's new for you this year?
Well, this year we are having a giveaway. We always do it.
Okay.
People who are passing by our stand, one person, a lucky winner, will get a chance to win free tank. Yes. And then we are showcasing our variety of products: water storage tank, road barrier, traffic cone, plastic pallet. And aside that, we are soon launching Synthes pipes. So people who are passing by, they'll have a chance to watch the various pipes that will be launching very soon.
Okay, so how are you going to select who this lucky winner would be?
We have a raffle.
Okay.
If you pass by, you may be a winner.
So do well to pass by you. It's the Joy News EcoBank Habitat Fair that's happening from the 30th of October to the 4th of November. You just might go home with a tank. Would you go and install it for them 2nd of November? Will you?
If the person has no plumber, we have plumbers that we can send to do the installation for them.
Okay.
Yes.
So at the end of the 3-day fair, the Joy News EcoBank Habitat Fair, what would be considered a success for you as sponsors of the program and also as exhibitors who you'll be there showcasing your goods? What would you call a successful day?
Well, for the couple of Habitat Fair that we participated, we actually had a chance to meet a lot of participants. So for this current one, we believe a lot of people will pass by to see our products and also to place order. To place order.
Yeah, which is very important.
Very, very important.
Okay.
Very, very important. We expect people to place order, and then we attend to them. We give good customer service to them. Yes, so that's our expectation. And to reach out to Synthes, you can call 0244 33 5168 or on social media, Synthes Ghana. If you want to shop directly online, you can just go to synthesgs.com.
Okay, so let's take those numbers again.
0244 33 5168.
Okay, and you are on social media, Synthes Ghana, and it's SINTEX, Syntex Ghana. And you can also find you on the website syntexgh.com. Remember that it's happening from the 30th of October this year to the 2nd of November at the Accra International Conference Center, AICC. And you have the details there on your screens. Patrick, thank you for joining us, and I wish you the very best. What will be your final word to our viewers?
Well, in a crisis of water shortage, we believe the quality water storage tank is needed to store water. And the only quality water storage tank in Ghana is Syntex tank. So we expect Ghanaian, our customers, to purchase Syntex tank.
In other words, no be every tank be tanko. The correct tank,
the correct one, yes,
be Syntex. Thank you so much, Patrick Pono from the sales and marketing team for Syntex Ghana. Now remember, Ghana get ready for the biggest giveaway from Syntex tank. They're right here. We're just talking about that. Syntex is visiting 15 communities, giving them free water. So far, they've done over 45,000 liters of water for Nima and Teshi. So this is just to say thank you for making us the #1 in this industry. Syntex was the first to introduce double-layer tanks in Ghana. Do you know that they're also the first to come in many colors and the first to come out with inner white layer? Patrick was just telling us that is to help with cleaning purposes, so you can see that it's dirty. So when it's not Syntex, forget about it. Now, if you're a community and you want to benefit from the Syntex free water giveaway, just log on to your social media platforms at Syntex Ghana and nominate your community. The more you nominate, the better chances you have of Syntex coming to your community. Remember, it is Syntex, SINTEX Ghana. Thank you, Syntex. And they say, no be any tank be tanko. The correct tank be Syntex tank. Syntex tank, tough, strong. And that's how we're wrapping up for this conversation. Patrick Pono, thank you so much for joining us. We wish you the very best.
Thank you.
And do well to attend the Joy News EcoBank Habitat Fair on the 30th of October to the 2nd of November at AICC. We'll be right back with more. Let's focus on our climate. Now, in the latest episode of our Climate Focus series, the streets of Boko are witnessing a transportation shift like never before. Following a ban on motorbike riding due to security concerns, electric bikes have now emerged as the new preferred mode of transportation. Eco-friendly and efficient, these e-bikes are transforming daily commutes while significantly reducing carbon emissions. Mahmoud Mohamed Nuruddin takes today's Climate Focus series and tells us more.
Welcome to Boku, where the harm of electric bikes has become the new normal. With the motorbike ban, residents had to find alternative transportation. Electric bikes have become a game changer.
I started using this electric motor 3 months ago. With the electric motor, when it came, we were having problems buying the motor because we were not sure whether it will be good.
Meet Idrisu Zulfao, a teacher who has embraced the electric bike phenomenon.
Okay, with this, when you have the opportunity to use whether to buy the electric one or you buy the old type of motor, to me, I think when you buy the electric one, it will help you a lot. Because with the electric one, you don't need to use much money, or you don't need to use money to buy fuel and all sort of things.
It's very accessible, and once you charge it, I don't know, even though they are of different brands, but looking at my own if I charge this one, I use it for the whole week. Before I could charge, if I charge it on Sunday till next Sunday, I don't charge it again, and I use it to do my activities.
The battery percentage per my motor, I'm not the busy type, so I can use it for days. But some complain that their battery doesn't last even for a day. But mine, I don't face that such difficulty.
The e-bike is not only eco-friendly but cost-effective, especially with fuel prices skyrocketing.
No buy no fuel. You can see these days the fuel price is just moving high and high. So when you buy this motor, there's no need for you to buy fuel to stress yourself. So it's just very easy. When you buy, the only thing you do is just what? To charge it and you're good to go.
Actually, I would say I would prefer this. I would prefer this. Because looking at the fuel prices nowadays, even today, if they're asking us to ride motor, I think some people will still park their motors. Because you can't afford the fuel. The fuel prices is not something to deal with.
The e-bikes produce no noise, no carbon dioxide, and no harmful emissions. It is a win-win for residents' health and the environment.
Since it doesn't produce sound and carbon dioxide, I think it's very good for everyone, especially our health. It's very, very good and it's very, very necessary.
It helps you to protect the environment in the sense that it doesn't produce carbon dioxide. So because it doesn't produce carbon dioxide, it protects the environment from pollution, from noise pollution, and then from also protecting the ozone layer.
Yes, and as it is, there is no noise it produces. When you pass by, nothing like, unless a person is standing to look at you, then nobody will see your movements because there is no noise. It doesn't produce any noise. And again, there is no carbon dioxide produced from it. And as we know, these are our vehicles that use fuels. It causes some smokes, and these smokes pollute the environment.
Although the e-bike offers numerous advantages, its higher cost is a significant barrier for many individuals.
I would like to own one, but looking at my state right now, the price is very costly. It's costly for me. I can't afford to purchase one for myself. And looking at my destination from my place to the school is a bit far. So I wish if the price can be brought down, it will help most of us.
The cost is very high. The cost of the motor is very, very high. Some sell it 7,000, some 8,000, some 5,000, some 4,000. The 4,000, most people complain the battery is very poor. So when you buy it, you have to change the battery. And another thing I've observed is the part of the motor. When you don't use it wisely and it spoils, it's very expensive to buy it. The parts are very, very expensive. Some of the parts cost 300 without the workmanship. Some cost 200, some even cost 500. But for me, I have not experienced any fault with it.
E-bikes provide freedom and mobility for people of all ages and abilities. Residents here want the government to offer incentives and investment in e-bike infrastructure to encourage their adoption. A report by Mohammed Nuruddin.
Well, let's expand this conversation further. Joining me via Zoom this morning is Adam Yakubu. He's with the Renewable Energy, and he's a researcher and policy analyst at Institute for Energy Security. Many thanks for your time, Mr. Yakubu. I don't know if you follow the story, but these women, these residents, should I say citizens, are particularly excited about the shifts from the previous motorbikes with carbon emissions to electric ones. But what I want to find out is how significant is this shift to electric bikes in reducing carbon emissions, especially in a community like Boku with a history of motorbike reliance?
Yes, let me say good morning to you and good morning to your cherished viewers and listeners across the country. Boku is a very interesting place for me because I've lived there somewhere in 2017, and the motorbike use is very predominant in the area. And so to place a ban on motorbikes only for them to have an alternative, because one thing that have not been highlighted is these bikes can also be paddled just like you do with a bicycle. So if you look at how these things are, the e-bikes are designed, it is a hybrid kind of bikes. And I think that for a place like Boku, it is very, very important to have something like that. Let me say that the penetration of e-bikes in Boko contributes to a bigger focus. Even though if you look at the reason why e-bikes are taken over in Boko, it is not a policy. It is as a result of a decision that people have resorted to look for an alternative. So the ban on the use of motorbikes as a result of the conflict that is going on there have pushed people to look for an alternative. So this cannot be described as a motorbike proper, as the law has put a ban on, but can also allow you to still move at a more convenient way than a bicycle would have done. Okay, so let's get that thing in proper place. It's not as a result of a policy, but as a result of a particular decision to control security that has pushed people into this.
Right. Let's look at the environment then. I mean, what are the potential long-term environmental, and we can add economic benefits as well, and that's the people of Boko could experience if this transition to e-bikes is fully embraced?
Yeah, so if you look at e-bikes and e-mobility as we would normally call them, they don't produce noise oftentimes, and they don't produce greenhouse gases, as they've rightly stated. So in the long run, one, you have the noise pollution thing controlled. Two, you have health benefits that come as a result of these vehicles that we use that produce these greenhouse gases have a long-term health implication. Also, if you look at the operation cost of running an e-vehicle or an e-mobility appliance, it is relatively cheaper compared to what we have with the traditional vehicles. Currently, looking at the prices of fuel, if you compare it with running an e-vehicle or an e-mobility device, you would be better off going for an e-mobility device. But however, there are some challenges that makes it very difficult for people to actually adopt this easily. One, there are infrastructure barriers to it. So for example, with these bikes, you can easily charge it at home. That makes it a bit convenient. If it is a vehicle, we would need bigger infrastructure, just like you have for fuel stations, to always allow people to be able to charge on the go.
Yeah, like a charging terminal of a sort. Yeah.
Exactly. So people who will be doing a longer distance, if you, in the interview, you would see that someone said he travels a longer distance. Most of those who use it for short distance might not experience this, we call it the road trip problem, where when you want to go on a longer distance, it's difficult because the power might run out at some point. And so you would need the infrastructure to be able to do this in a more advanced way or in a more acceptable way. Difficulties.
Yeah. So, I mean, in as much as these e-bikes reducing the pollution in the air and carbon emissions, looks like the cost remains one of the big barriers, especially for the people in Boko. What policies would you recommend, or subsidies would you recommend that we make to make it more accessible and sustainable?
This conversation is even long overdue, because at COP28, if I remember, the government of Ghana launched an e-mobility, or they called it the e-transport policy. And so we would have expected that at the rollout of this policy, some incentives, one, be given to those who bring in these equipments. And when we say bringing it in, we know that most of them are not made in Ghana, so they are imported. And if the import duties and the cost of bringing it in is high, obviously the final product is going to be extremely expensive, which will be a discouraging factor to a lot of Ghanaians. Another thing I would want to raise is we should be looking at how to train people who would be able to handle these type of equipment. Traditionally, we just have ordinary fitters who do their own thing. And so this new type of technology that we are introducing into our market, how would we train people that already have the existing knowledge to be able to work on them? Otherwise, you have a lot of them in the long run, when they get some faults, you can't replace it. And so it could also be a discouraging factor for me. Like I did mention, the infrastructure, if government is looking to roll out e-mobility on a larger scale, then we will have to do significant investments when it comes to infrastructure. If it is going to be PPP arrangement, government should be ready to support people that are willing to build the infrastructure so that people can use it. So, because if you look at the traditional fuel stations we run, the fuel stations don't belong to the state. The state only helps in the regulation and management of these institutions. And so we should be willing to do that if we really want to expand e-mobility.
And talking
tax
about
incentive,
go on.
Tax incentives for also people that are willing to build them in Ghana. I think just ended. I was watching the institutions for technical institutions that were having a competition, and I saw that some senior high school students were
The
able to
Renewable
build,
Energy Challenge.
exactly,
Yeah.
they built something, and that means that there's a potential that Ghanaians are able to build some of these things in Ghana. Then we would need some production tax credits to some companies that are willing to do. We have a number of companies that are into assembling. You have Wahoo, you have e-taxi that are already in Ghana. But can we be thinking of how do we build some of these things in Ghana? If we can do that, because we know that there's a program called One District, One Factory. This is a potential that could tap on. And so for me, I would have expected that in the long run, government should be looking at how to use some of its policies and programs to attract investment in these areas. Yeah.
Okay, so you've talked about beefing up human resources so that they have the technical know-how to handle repairs, wear and tear and all that. You talked about tax exemptions and proper infrastructure, whether it is public-private partnership or however we look at it. So now I'm wondering, beyond Boadu, do you see this transportation shift as a model for other regions in Ghana to adopt? And what should the government really prioritize in this case?
Yeah, beyond Boadu, like I did state from the beginning, Boadu is adopting this as a result of another decision, not necessarily because government has targeted them to do this, but I am aware that government has its policy, the e-mobility policy, that's one. The energy transition framework that government launched is also another. It has a transport component to describing how government is going to move away from fossil fuels to renewable energy. And this particular mode of transport fits into that. And so if we want to do it on a larger scale, like I did state, the infrastructure is very important. Even in advanced economies, one of the biggest things that is not making people adopt e-vehicles is because of infrastructure.
Right.
Because I have an e-vehicle and I cannot drive it from Accra to Kumasi. I cannot drive it from Accra to Tamale. So technically, it wouldn't make sense to have a vehicle that would just be used for town drives and all that. Unless, of course, you are just looking for the luxury of it. Other than that, I can say that I've not seen an e-vehicle in Tamale. It means that there's not, because the infrastructure is not there. And so it is not even a motivation for someone to buy a car like that and move it to Tamale, because when you do that, you are likely to suffer some of these things that we are. So if we are looking to scale it up at a national level, then these bigger blocks, like I did state in the previous discussion, that the infrastructure, the people that will work on them, the taxes that adds up to the building up of the final product is something that we need to carefully look at, because in advanced economies, you see them doing these things. Like, for example, if you pick the United States Inflation Reductions Act, there are subsequent different components of taxes, waivers that are offered to businesses, to individuals, to be able to adopt this. We don't have that. We just design a broader policy, but to focus on transport, I think that we can do better. And I've seen that there's been some conversation of introducing e-buses. Yes, it's a bigger problem. So the infrastructure would have to be built.
That's contained in the manifesto of, I think, the NPP. But thank you so much, Adam Yakubu. He's a renewable energy researcher and policy analyst at Institutes for Energy Security, for putting this in perspective for us. Many thanks for your time. And that's the end of this conversation on Climate Focus today, the latest episode brought to you by Mahmoud Mohamed Nuruddin. And there's still a lot more coming your way. It's not 10 a.m. yet. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. This is the AM show, and we get now into that subject of talking about She Empowerment Global and what they stand for, what they've been up to, and how they're actually protecting the interests of women. Joining me in the studio, Patricia Adams-Williams. She is the She Empowerment Global founder. And there's also Ernestina Alendu, a co-founder of She Empowerment Global, and of course, country manager as well. Patricia, Ernestina, good morning.
Good morning.
Good to have you join us in the studio.
Thank you.
Good to have you too.
I noticed that we have a shared love of pearls.
Yes.
So let's start from the very start. She, is it an acronym? And if it is, what does it stand for? I'll start with you, Patricia.
No, it's not actually not an acronym.
Okay.
But it just stands for the woman, she.
Oh, okay. So generic he and now the she, general.
The she.
I see. What does that mean for you, Ernestina? She.
She, as we all know, is a pronoun for the gender women. And so it's all about empowering women in Ghana. And so we at She Global decided not on any other name to prefix our name but She, to tell anybody about us that we are in for the women of Ghana.
I see. Yeah. How long has your outfit been around?
Actually, we got licensed in April this year.
Okay.
Yes. So we just launched on the 11th of October.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm sure even before the launch, you had been neck deep, if not eyebrow deep, in these activities. In fact, if you go to your website, you have written there, She Empowerment Global has set out to break the cycle of poverty and dependency among single women. So single women are a target for you. Poverty, dependency, and we know the context, especially in places like Ghana. What would you say is your track record of achievements, Patricia?
Our track record in the United States
I love the context. We can do US and then we'll do Ghana.
Yes.
Yes.
Over the past 20 years, I founded a nonprofit organization called American Care Foundation.
Okay.
So 90% of these women are single women, single mothers living in poverty. So we have the data to show and to use over here in Ghana to improve the economy over here by supporting single women.
I see. Ernestina, what's been the roadmap as far as Ghana is concerned?
Yes, right. On the day my founder landed in Ghana, that was on the 7th of October, we hit the ground running. The following day was on the 8th, which was her birthday, and she did not relax at all. We hit the road. First, we went to Grace Baptist Church at Westlands. From there, we headed to the Children's Hospital, that is Princess Marie Louis Hospital. She wanted, it was her idea to spend her birthday to also familiarize herself with the environment of Ghana. So we went to the Princess Marie Louis Hospital at Kantamanto in the Accra Central.
That's the Children's Hospital?
Yes, please.
Right.
And then we also went to the Kresna Handmade Children's Orphanage, also at Kojo Achong. And all these places we went, we encountered a lot of things that actually confirm the data we have gathered as She Empowerment Global to tell us that, yes, women are in need. And thanks to our founder, she was so generous enough. All the places she went, she donated generously.
I see. And so all of these activities, what would you say has been the impact of these outreaches that you've brought to bear? Especially, let's focus on what we've done in Ghana so far, Ernestina.
Okay, I would also extend part of our activities that we also had. We also went all the way to the Volta region.
Oh, I see.
Where, yes, we have done a lot of work. Yes, we are really in for women. So after familiarizing founder with the Accra, that is the urban area, as a country manager, I also thought I should take her a bit outside the city of Accra. You know, as you move, you drift away from the city, everything changes. So I wanted her to feel how it is also there. So when we went by the courtesy of the Leklebi Paramount Queen,
that is Mamaga Atovi IV. She organized a Deba where we had the opportunity to encounter over 300 women. And then we also had the opportunity to interact with them. And the Queen Mother also gave a speech, and to the surprise of our founder, for me as a Ghanaian, I wasn't surprised. The whole community of about 3,000 people has no market.
Over 3,000 people?
Yes.
No market?
No market. And this is a community which is just about 10 minutes drive to the Togo border. And there is no market in that community. They have to drive about 1 hour or 2 hours to go and get stuff bought. So immediately, founder asks, is that your immediate need? And they say yes. Right after the Deba, founder asks them to show us a land they have earmarked to be used as a market. To the amazement of all the people in the town, founder promised to build a market for them. That is one of the impact.
Oh, you see.
Yes, immediate impact. We also had the opportunity to meet about 600 beauticians and fashion industry players at the Christ the King Catholic Church Auditorium, where we brought all these players under one roof for founder to also get to understand women in entrepreneurship, especially these key industry that we in Ghana know most women do participate in. That is the dressmaking and the beautician association. So these women really came out in their numbers, to our amazement, over 600. And then they came out sharing problems, very pertinent problems that affect their businesses and that is not allowing them to thrive. And for me, as a first-timer also engaging with these women, I also realized we have a lot of impact to create there. And right there and then, founder was again so generous, donated hand dryers, some salon kits, and even cash prizes to these women.
So quite a lot has been done
in
these last few months, especially since the launch. Let me come to you, Patricia, and congratulations on how you are planting into people's lives, sowing seeds in people's lives. Beyond the USA, yes, we know you have a presence in Ghana. Where else is She Empowerment Global active?
We decided to launch in Ghana first, mainly because I was here in 2019.
Oh, I see.
And truly fell in love with Ghana. And actually learning more about Ghana in the diaspora truly inspired me to start in Ghana.
So you came to Ghana, you fell in love with Ghana, but why Ghana? What made you fall in love with this country? Why did you, what made you want to come back and give? And there are others. I mean, there's this children's, I think for children across the sub-region, cancer treatment, that another, I've forgotten her name, Dr. something, oncology, among others, that they are putting up, I think, somewhere in the central region. There are people philanthropists, who are helping bit by bit for specific causes. And it had to do with a child who saw a need and wanted to help. So I'm curious, why Ghana, apart from coming here? What made you want to do this?
Well, I've been thinking about it for probably about 10 years because my foundation, American Care Foundation, has currently been sitting on land that was given to the slaves when they were set free in Dallas, Texas.
I see.
So it created a desire in me to come back to Africa because at that point in time, I truly did not have an understanding of, Africa. So I wanted to learn more. I wanted to know exactly, where I was actually from, the motherland. So that really sparked an interest for me when I found out where I actually was in the United States.
I see. Interesting. But it doesn't end there. Let's talk about your delegation to Ghana and the fact that your board also has some Ghanaians on board. Tell us about that. And who are they?
Well, we have Dr. Rashid Drummond.
Dr. Rashid Drummond?
Yes.
Is he the one from the Africa Center for Parliamentary
ASEPA.
Affairs?
Yes.
That's right.
Okay.
Absolutely. And then we have our co-founder,
right,
Ernestina Alundu. We have Cheryl Poteet Williamson, who is actually from the United States and was over here during our launch. We have Dr. Shirley Clark as well, who is actually a key speaker in the United States and speaks into women's lives, as well as we have Dr. Lou Blackburn, who is our treasurer.
Oh, you see, sounds like a high-powered team. How were you able to snag, and I use snag, Ernestina, Dr. Rashid Rahman, and others? How did you get them on board? I'm curious.
Well, we had a friend that in the United States that connected me
to these
the
people.
power team here and across. So I'm truly, truly grateful for that connection.
I see. Before I come back to you, Patricia, Ernestina, you conducted this research as well. There was a bit of a research. What were your findings as far as the needs of Ghanaian single mothers? We've already teased out some of them, but what did you find in there? What were the preeminent issues as far as single mothers in Ghana are concerned?
Okay, immediately, even before I come to the studies we made to come to this conclusion, I have been in the banking sector for about 15 years, and we were into extending loans to very micro to the SME businesses. So immediately, I knew the need, as at that time, how women, when you enter every Ghanaian market, I dare to say we have about 90%, 95% of them being women. And so from there, I could say that women were really in need of support to build up their businesses. However, we have also checked the data, and we also realized that in the past census that we had, 51% of the entire population of Ghana are women. And most of these people fall in an active age group. That is also the reason why we chose the years between 18 to 35. These are the period where people are very active to do any business. And
so you're talking of Labor Act.
Labor Act, yes.
Right.
So gathering all these, I also came on board with the idea that, well, why not let us support these women? Because some of them have all the skills they need to thrive. But the only thing they are lacking is that entrepreneurial touch they need to affect their business. Most of these women, they have little knowledge about financial literacy. They have little knowledge about current technological developments that can enhance their business and all that. So we, as She Empowerment Global, said to ourselves that why don't we gather such women? Those who have not been trained, we'll give them the training. Those who have already been trained, we shall give them that touch that they need to be able to thrive and sustain their businesses.
Okay, interesting dynamics. Patricia, so coming back to you, you're partly in Ghana because of this launch, the Ghana branch and all that. And then maybe tell us a bit more about how you are resourced, how you secure funds to be able to do all these wonderful things you do, and whether you need any people to also contribute. What can you say? You're in Ghana for the launch. Tell us about the launch.
The launch has been phenomenal. And so one of the things, as Ernestina was saying, is that we're here for the women to empower them. So before we can even start with any type of curricular training, I thought it was best that we form a relationship, and so that they get a chance to see who I am, as well as I see who they are. And so we have truly connected with the Ghanaian women. I've truly connected with them, and they love me, I love them. And so now we can now move forward, but this is where we need everyone's help. We are receiving funding through private sectors. We're fundraising, and we also have some grants in store, but most of our funding will come from the United States.
Okay.
So
who are these coming from? Philanthropists, friends, your network? Who are
all of the above. Okay. All of the above.
Great, great. And God bless you for tapping into your network to help other people more in need. Final thoughts? I'll start with you, Ernestina, briefly.
My final thought is that Ghanaian women, She Empowerment Global is here to support you, grow your businesses. And for those of you who don't even know where to start from, we are here for you. And all we need from you is your interest and also your commitment, because this is someone coming from all the way from Texas, gathering resources to come and help. And so all she would want to see at the end of the day is the returns and the change in lives of these women we are going to help. So please, my Ghanaian women, welcome on board She Empowerment Global, as we are ready to support you, grow and sustain your business.
How can they reach out to you?
You can reach out to us on our website at www.sheempowermentglobal.org.
All right.
On telephone, you can reach us on 053-9090-587.
Could you repeat that slowly?
On telephone, you can contact us at 053-9090-587.
Thank you. Patricia, final words?
I just want to reach out to the Ghanaian women to let them know that She Empowerment Global, we're here for you. We want to see you thrive. We want to see you have an impact to the economy so that you can be better women and have better lives for you and your families. So that is why we're here. We're looking forward to partnering with you. If you have any questions, please reach out to us, because we're here for you. She Empowerment Global, we thank you so much.
Ladies, thank you for coming through. And that is Patricia Adams-Williams, She Empowerment Global founder. And we also have Ernestina Alandu, co-founder and country manager, She Empowerment Global. Of course, Patricia also has her American Care Foundation. It's all about She Empowerment Global. You can check them out on that website or call the number that Ernestina gave. Well, stick and stay. We'll be right back with more action right here on the AM Show. It's the AM Show. Welcome back. Now, the GETFund 2024 Stakeholder Forum successfully concluded with an engaging discussion on the role of the GETFund in shaping contemporary education in Ghana. The event brought together key stakeholders, including government representatives, the education minister was there, the education sector leaders, scholars, and the media to reflect on the fund's achievements and chart a way forward for sustainable education financing. The discussions also highlighted the GETFund's contributions to infrastructure development, which we'll be talking about, scholarship programs, which we will be talking about, and vocational education as well, while also addressing challenges such as funding constraints, project management, and equitable scholarship distribution. Now, if you look at the key achievements highlighted at the event, at least just a few of them, infrastructure development, the GETFund has significantly invested in building and rehabilitating educational facilities across the country. We have the leadership of the GETFund right here, the administrator, and he is going to be walking me through some of what the GETFund has been up to so far, and then we shall look at yesterday's event and get into other related matters. Good morning.
Good morning.
And this is Dr. Richard Ampofu Boadu. He is the administrator of the GETFund. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Over the last few years, practically every year or two, you come by, you swing by, you give us a sort of report card on what you've been up to. And I guess today we're going to get a lot more information, aren't we?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. So let's start with the historical antecedents. Between 2017 and now, it's always good to reflect. What would you say, as you've been at the helm of affairs, the GETFund has been up to, has achieved, how it has impacted education in Ghana?
I would like to greet your listeners and the viewers. a very good morning to them. GETFund, as an act set up by Parliament, Act 581, Act 2000, Act 581, and as amended, Act 972, takes its receivables from a straight levy. Historically, it used to be 2.5% of VAT, but now it is a straight levy. And in terms of our main activities to provide educational support for basically the three levels, that is the secondary, the tertiary, secondary, and then the basic education. And it's also support other agencies and then other quasi-government agencies, some under the ministry, some not under the ministry. And we get this mandate by what we call the distribution formula. That is, our budget is approved by Parliament. And we apportion money to key activities that we have to do. I always say that we have to come here and then let people know what we are doing, because you sitting there, the cameraman, the watch seller, whoever is in Ghana, contribute to.
We all do.
We all do. So we should also come to you and let us know what we're doing with your money. Because yes, that's what I told them yesterday. A snapshot in 2024, September, I'm going to give, because we update it every quarter. We are owing contractors to the tune of about 900 million, including those that it's part of the 2024 budget. Total project.
Is this Ghana cedis, right?
Yeah, Ghana cedis. I'm talking cedis now. Total project of, as a GETFund, since inception is 11,249. So far, completed projects 7,679. Now you ask the question from 2017 up to 2024. At 2017, there were about 3,897 ongoing projects, which I'll refer as legacy projects, because that's what I came.
Over 3,000 of them?
Yeah, over 3,000 of them. And then, over the period, we've initiated 2,749 projects. The breakdown will come. And we've completed 3,077. And currently, there are about 3,569 ongoing projects. So a snapshot of the GETFund, this is what I can say as of September 2024.
So total projects 11,249.
Yes.
Out of which you mentioned a completed, and then you just mentioned another completed of 3. So completed 7,679. Since inception
is 7,679.
Okay.
Yes, but now from
when you say since inception, you are mentioning since the GETFund rolled out.
Yeah, that was in 2001.
Okay, all right. And the 3,077 is within this bracket.
Yeah.
Within 2017 to now.
Yeah, 2017 till now.
Okay, all right. That's interesting. So 7,679 over time since 2001 thereabouts, and within this bracket alone 3,077 within 7 years. That means you've been up to a lot within this short time frame.
And even more is coming because of the strategy that we're using.
What's your strategy?
Okay, so in 2018 thereabout, when the free SHS came on, apart from contractors that were owing, we adopted some measures that one, because of the free SHS, definitely enrollment had to increase. The infrastructure that we had, we should find a way of completing those infrastructure. So we did a three-way approach. One, to target the ongoing projects. One, where we did a need-based assessment. And then to make sure that projects in some of the schools where there were existing facility, when you add on, you don't need to bring a new headmaster, and then all that you have to do is maybe appoint some 2 or 3, because there are some existing structures that can be used. So that is where a lot of the projects went into. And then the third one was to build new schools from the scratch. So these three approach went in, and we've been able to do a lot. Aside that, the payment of contractors, I've been here before and I told you that for the first time in Ghana, contractors did work and then less than 3 weeks they were paid. It hasn't happened in the history of Ghana.
In less than 3 weeks?
In less than 3 weeks.
After the completion of work?
No, not after.
Or
on bringing their claims.
Proposals.
Their claims to the fund.
I see.
We did that for about 3 years. It was consistent payment of contractors.
How were you able to do that?
The magic to do that lies in an innovative borrowing. The securitization that people always try and then spin it and then say that GETFund has been collateralized or GETFund has been... they have their way of saying it. But that was an innovative way of borrowing. And this is how come we are getting dividends. And to tell you, GETFund is no longer on that assignment again. So now we don't assign our receivables for the debt. Government has taken up that debt portfolio through the DDEP, and GETFund is free from
the domestic debt exchange program. So it was fed into the DDEP.
Yeah, it was fed into the DDEP.
So now, do you still borrow, or if you borrow, it's not for those purposes?
Yeah, no. We've completed with that process.
So you don't borrow anymore?
No.
Okay. And your debts have been serviced?
Yes, for the government has taken over. So it's not part
so when you say that as of now, the GETFund does not owe any entity in terms of debts for some of these projects?
In respect of that. In respect of
yes,
that.
in respect of that.
There are a small percentage, about, I think for now it's about 19 million that didn't go under the DDEP.
Which you have to, which the GETFund has to take care of.
Yeah, we have to take care of.
How is that going?
That by the end of the year, that process will be over. It's just left for approvals. There are so many options that they've tabled for us, either paying them off, because we have money with the special purpose vehicle that we have money with them. And even this month, they've given us 160 million to pay contractors. So it is our money that now we have with them. We can pay those off and then they go. But it has to take the necessary approval levels before that goes through. So we are good with that bond.
Before we proceed, some of our viewers are curious about the location of these projects. For example, when I look at the new projects, Basic 599, SHS 633, Tertiary 11, TVET centers 2, model schools 2. One of our viewers is saying, okay, so these projects, where are they? I want you to just let them know where the projects are.
So the breakdown, and
you don't have to, we don't have to go through, we are not going through all of this.
Because facts do.
Where are
they are all located. So if the breakdown is 1,501 basic schools, secondary schools 1,161, model schools 9 of them, TVET centers 4, tertiary 74. And if you look at, for instance, the breakdown I have for Bono and
the different regions.
The different regions. Basics 158. There is a table to that, and you can locate each and every project that we're saying that we've initiated. There's something being you can get it. It is not just a matter of just coming to put figures there. It is of a fact.
I see the different regions. Some of the figures are in this magenta color is a bit, but I see, for example, OT has 47, 41, and 2. I think tertiary is 2, secondary is 41, and then basic is 47. That's for OT. And then it applies. So all 16 regions of Ghana have had a share of this.
Yes, all of them have. They've gotten their share. It's been initiated. That's it. In our books.
And all of these are, like you mentioned, because you also indicated infrastructure projects as well. How are they going in respect of the tertiary educational institutions? You know, for example, the University of Ghana, infrastructure is a bit of an issue. they need more housing because of the numbers and all of that. Are you collaborating with, I mean, at the tertiary level, what's the picture like?
Okay, at the tertiary level, I've said this before, that we put a hold to new projects unless the board approves that, for a special reason, we should do this project. You see, there were a lot of projects scattered in the tertiary sector. They had their challenge, and I've been on set and I've let people know what the challenges were. So we put a hold to it. And that's how come you see that the tertiary numbers are not that huge. We said that they should finish their ongoing projects before new ones are given to them. So the target for the tertiary is for them completing the projects. Because
so there's a sort of moratorium.
Yeah,
and they have to complete projects.
Complete all projects. So money that we sent in there, they had to use it to complete their project. That's how come a lot of the tertiary projects are now completing their project. When that phase goes off, once you don't have any GETFund project in your uni, then
new ones can be started.
Yes.
These are targeted at public institutions.
Yeah, public
institutions.
Yeah.
So the University of Ghana, do they have a backlog that they have to clear?
Yes, they have about, I think, 4 or 5 projects ongoing.
I see.
There is this, that old project,
Which one? Is it the one around the Jones Quarter building?
No, it's one that is it the Performing Arts Theatre? It's about 90% completed. F-Science, they have a project there, and then they are all getting to their completion. The Vice-Chancellor came to my office. We had a beautiful discussion, a very fruitful one, and now a lot of the projects are speeding up. KNUSC, the same. Projects that had been abandoned 20 years ago, we've rejuvenated them, and they are now doing it. There are some of them that they thought that the contractors were the ones that were posing the problem of completion. I gave them the go-ahead that we are not the ones that awarded the contract. So that decision lies in your hand. If you want to terminate and then re-award, and then bring a new contractor who has the financial muscle to complete. All these projects to the way forward for ongoing projects, because you see that a lot of them, about 3,000 or so projects, are in the system that we have to complete. The way forward is for them to repackage, because the contractors are businessmen. And if they do the contract and they see that they are going to lose, what they're going to do is they will stop and they abandon the project. So most of the abandoned projects, not the doing of GETFund, but the contractor finds it not feasible and economically viable for him to continue. So now we want to revise rates, but stringent measures are put into place so that the contractor will be able to complete the project. And that is what we're looking at.
Of course, if you make life easy for the contractor, then the work will be completed, and then other measures can be brought to bear. So if I look at, there's someone else sending in a question. I just want us to get into some of them so that people know what exactly is happening. But if you look at your latest report, the GETFund bond program, utilization of loan or bond proceeds, you talk about 2016 outstanding claims, certificates arising from ongoing projects, the contract certificates, construction of classrooms and dormitories, that's the intervention project, construction of new model schools, construction of TVET centers, and the procurement of buses, furniture, and TLMs. I would like you to elaborate on this briefly, but before you do, lest I forget, Seth Nana Odro Kwateng says, ask him of the status of the GETFund classroom project at Dadiase Agric SHS in the Ashanti region. Do you know about it? I know it's very specific, so it may be...
very specific, but you see, if the person out there who is closer to that project, because I don't have the facts unless I get it, if the project has been stalled, that is what I'm saying. It lies on whoever wants the project to be completed. Go to where the project was awarded. Because they come to GETFund, and then we direct them to where the project management and implementation is done by the awarding bodies. I am on a platform.
Who are the awarding?
I'm coming. The Ministry of Education, the Regional Coordinating Council, the district assemblies, MMDAs, the universities, depending on the level, because I said that tertiary, secondary, and then primary, and then there are others. They award the contract. There are some of the DC, they come to my office, and then they come and they blame GETFund for maybe a project that has been stalled for about 7 years. Then I asked him, has the contractor been paid? He said, I'm aware that the contractor has been paid. I said, yeah, that's where our, we gave the financial clearance for you to go ahead. So the onus lie on you. You have the power to terminate. Okay. If you don't terminate that contract will never be completed.
Are they all aware of this? I think it's some sensitization
I was coming to that point. I'm on a platform with all the regional ministers, and I've posted projects in each region to the regional ministers. There's a letter that we've written, and this is not something that started maybe this year. There's a letter that we've written to all these that GETFund hasn't suspended any project. If there's a project that we intend to stop, we'll communicate it to you. So find the contractor who is there, and then if you have to terminate, you terminate, so that we can quick start the project. And we are doing this because we saw this problem and sent it to Parliament. And when we went to Parliament, we gave them a 3-year plan. With the 3-year plan, with the funding, the proposed funding, we need about 6.1 million, which part of it was given to us this year. And by this, all projects are supposed to be completed within the 3-year framework that we've given. We know that the Ghanaian, as a person, will not get 100%. So we are saying that if we get about 80% percentage completion, we will pat our back and then say that, yeah, or our chest and then say that we've done a yeoman's job. That is our target.
But don't say the Ghanaian. The Ghanaian can also do 100%. It's possible.
Ghanaian contractors.
It can be done.
So let me lower it to Ghanaian contractors.
Well, it can be done.
I have a presentation on contractors and then consultants.
There are so many things that I feel. I also know some people who are contractors. I have some friends who are contractors.
That are very good.
And I feel sometimes there are many factors that make them stall, on these projects.
In my presentation last year, I gave about 6 causes of delay. One of them is GETFund not paying in time. I must be frank. If we don't pay in time, the contractor will not do that. But there are other factors. But one thing that stood out was the type of, the caliber, the qualification of the contractor, and the financial capacity of the contractor.
True.
That is one thing that is...
Which is why I have always said that if you go to other jurisdictions, there are huge... We don't have those in Ghana. You don't have a firm. Like how you would go to a Queiroz Galvão from Brazil, and they are major, they are huge, they are doing massive projects, not just in Brazil. They are doing projects, they did what we call the Circle Dubai. How are they able to do these things? These Chinese, some of the Chinese contractors. So it's high time we also got to the point where as a country, we created, even if with public support, public-private partnerships, entities that huge who can undertake these projects and have the financial muscle to do them.
So in our 3-year plan policy, the one that we sent to Parliament, and that dovetails into the future of what GETFund is going to do. We unveil an online digitization platform where even any entity who wants to award must first come for financial clearance from GETFund, meaning that we have the funds to do the project. Hitherto, somebody can sit in his or her office and then award on behalf of GETFund. That was something that was happening in the past, but we've streamlined them. And then we are not supposed to go into procurement. So they do the procurement on our behalf. But at the tail end of the procurement, we've introduced a letter of no objection. So you have to come to GETFund and then get a letter of no before you go. Do you know what that seeks to do?
What?
On the platform, we've developed the profile of every contractor, every consultant, every project. So if the consultant has numerous projects scattered, he can get 2 at Ashanti region, 2 here, 2 here, and it will be difficult at the time of awarding that this contractor has this.
We'll be able to complete all of them.
On a click of a button on my tablet, I'll be able to profile every contractor and then know your performance, your how we owe you, the pace of your work that we're doing. So out of that, we are going to categorize the contractors into classes. I see. By so doing, we are building the contractors who will go in the A into what you are thinking now. So the contractor, we will not interfere into your procurement, but we can give you an advice. These contractors are contractors in class A. If you want your project to be done in a specific way, you can choose from them. That will help with those with money. And then we'll limit their contract. If we get to know that this contractor is getting more than we'll be able to, sitting in my office, I'll be able to tell that this contractor has about 10.
So in real time, you're able to follow all of these.
All these. And then the project segmentation too, we can, maybe the distribution, we can also know Greater Accra has this number of schools, this region has this number of schools, and it can profile project by segmentation into tertiary, primary, and whatever.
That's
it helps in planning, it helps in budgeting, and whatever.
That's definitely something we ought to do, because in other countries, they are able to ensure that, and you see, it has a spin-off effect.
Yes.
If you do this well, then you know that projects are getting completed, rather than the haphazard way we do things. And then you have projects littered across the country, and just a few of them completed. And it's our taxpayers' money, like you mentioned. GETFund is run by our money. We make purchases, deductions are made, and then, so it belongs to all of us.
I remember this year when I was going to Parliament and I had to get my budget approved. The question was, are you telling us that you are not going to do any new project this year and you expect us to approve your budget? No, we need projects. But when I sat them down and I asked them, call your district, check the number of projects that are there. Some say, well, I don't have anything. I say, no, you check it. They come and, hey, I have about 17. I have this, other. I say, yes. So let us find contractors to finish that project. Those projects are in stages. We'll be able to complete them earlier than something that we start new. So let's do that. And then a lot of those projects. We're looking at the next 3 years. If this plan is followed, there will be the story that GETFund is in the current year and projects that they award, they're able to complete within the time. I told you that contractors that we owe, by this budget, the 2024 budget, every contractor, as at December 2023, the arrears, all their the liabilities to that effect will be paid. So what it will mean is that we'll be in the current year, and no contractor can just say that GETFund is owing them and they are not working. And then we make contracts in such a way that they are completed within the time frame. Those that are multi-year contracts, like the universities, we're going to phase them out. Phase 1, this is it. So you design based on phases. You finish phase 1, we have the money. That will even, because a contract may start at 2 million, and it goes to the kingdom come and it becomes 40 million. Right. We have some like that. Right. Those initiated at President Kufuor's time. There are some that are...
Some of them that are still, their lifetime is still running. So just a quick word before we get into the loan or bond proceeds and how you've utilized them across the different phases. I think this WhatsApp platform you spoke of, reaching out to the regional ministers and all of that, it is obvious some of them will not let it trickle down. I think the GETFund should also reach out to these places individually. It's a possibility. Because if the regional ministers are themselves surprised, then it tells you that some information is not trickling down. Just a piece of feedback or maybe advice.
We've gone even further than just the WhatsApp messages. No.
Okay.
We've gone even
so let's talk about the utilization of loan or bond proceeds. You have quite a number of them here, from the outstanding claims that you've spoken about to procurement of buses, furniture, and what are the TLMs?
Teaching and learning materials.
Teaching and learning materials. Okay.
Yeah.
So tell us about that.
So you see the vast investment that we've done in education. with the loan, because somebody will ask you, I hear people saying, oh, you went and borrow a lot of money and nothing is being seen. For the first time in Ghana, see the number of buses. You go to most of the schools and then you see donated by GETFund. That aside, we gave pickups to all the district education directorate. So every district that you go, you find a GETFund pickup donated by GETFund. The circuit supervisors, we gave them motorbikes, 1,500 of them, to aid them. So the teacher quality is also being what enhanced. And all these were part of the bond issue. Just know that as at December, contractors were being owed. We paid all the arrears that the contractors for them to go back to site. And I told you that once upon a time, in a period of 3 years, contractors work in Ghana in less than 3 weeks. They get paid. So that also has reflected in the numbers of completion of projects. And there are a lot of other things that we did with the bond issue. The one teacher, one laptop. It was also sponsored. 70% of it was sponsored by GETFund, the first part of it. And this is about 360,000 of those laptops, which has been given up. Also, the 450,000 of the students' tablets were also through the fund. So a lot of improving the quality of education. So one aspect is the built infrastructure, boosting it up, and then we look at the quality of education, where I can say that whiteboards, and then marker. We've been able to phase out all the secondary schools, the blackboards into whiteboards.
I see.
Across Ghana, 16 regions, and currently basic school. We've done 5 regions and still counting.
So I want us to maximize the time we have left, talking about 3 things: scholarships, model schools, and then the Stakeholder Forum from yesterday. But let's start with the scholarships. And, you know, GETFund, there's been a lot of talk about GETFund scholarships, and some of the talk has not been very positive, that, oh, this and that. No, you hold for me. You hold for me. This question comes in. He says, kindly inquire about the support for professional development, that is scholarship for public sector workers, lecturers on further studies, and others. How well is the GETFund scholarship scheme? How healthy is it as of today?
Very, very.
Very healthy.
Very, very. And I always say that people don't even know the different types of scholarship in the country.
You're talking about the main scholarship,
I'm not,
the scholarship scheme.
That isn't what I'm... People don't even know. So they end up and then they just...
Mixing everything. Right.
You see, our scholarship is done in such a way that initially the number for the local scholarship started about 333 as of December 2016. Now the number has jumped to a level of 5,000 plus.
300 plus to 5,000 plus.
5,000 plus. And
within what period did this happen?
From 2017.
So around 300, 2017. Now
no, I'm saying that 2023-2024 academic year.
Over 5,000?
Yeah, over 5,000. Just a single year. In the preceding year, it was 4,200. So we are now, it's a policy that we are now trying to support more of the local than the foreign sponsors.
This just came to mind. Let me do this lest I forget. We've had to interview a number of Ghanaian students in different places who sometimes they say scholarship scheme. And I think even in recent times, you heard of some of them in the UK. I just want to find out whether there are any links between the general, the scholarship secretariat, and these ones, whether sometimes there are funding constraints for some of these and they are tied to you. Are there any such?
You see, for GETFund, the Act tells us what we have to do. It's just funding. We provide supplementary funding to scholarship for local, not for foreign.
Okay. And that conversation has also come up.
Yeah, it is for local. It is not for foreign. Okay. And I'm telling you that for the past 2 years, GETFund was not doing foreign scholarship because of a brouhaha that went, and that was a misconception. I can tell you on authority that before we did this, some of the CSOs wrote to they wrote to Parliament that GETFund is not supposed to do scholarship per our Act. Auditor General sent his people to GETFund to come and audit. And I'm telling you, before they left, on our exit meeting, they apologized to GETFund for not even understanding our process.
How you work.
Yeah.
I see.
So you see the brouhaha that started somewhere where I, the administrator, through the board, paid for an audit in our institution, and it was used against me. That was it. I paid for because I just wanted to know how the processes were.
But in the end, you were able to clear the air. So
yeah,
the point being made that per the Act, you are only giving scholarships locally, as of now.
No, to scholarships again. What I say.
Right.
What I
but I mean, you are addressing yes.
No, I've also explained
because
where our mandate comes from. Our mandate comes from our Act 2E. That says that the minister, in consultation with the board, can do anything that is of educational essence.
Okay.
And then secondly, the other fact that buttresses our point is that our distribution formula goes by line item, what we want to do in a specified year.
Right.
The processes goes through Parliament, and it is not approval by just the board approving it. It goes, if I tell you first, it has to go through the management does it. It goes through.
So there are processes. Unfortunately,
there are processes.
We don't have.
And you see, the Parliament approves. If we are going to do scholarship for local or for a Parliament, anything that Parliament approves is a law.
Okay.
So
let's conclude with.
Let me talk about the new thing in scholarship, because you see, briefly. People, I'm telling you, we've managed the scholarship so well. This year, the foreign scholarship that we did, all their stipend have been paid, all their fees have been, one semester has been paid. And this year, even we went further to employ somebody, a consultancy, engage a consultancy firm that did it free for us, for them to get their visas.
Okay.
Aside that, there are savings that we're making too in scholarship management, because there are schools that we have partnership with, and for the partnership that we have with them, they've given us rebate. Some of them, initially, I wanted to do 180 this year, but we ended up by doing 224 because we had that arrangement.
I don't want us to miss the opportunity to talk about yesterday. So let's briefly look at the Stakeholder Forum.
The stakeholders...
what your key takeaways are. That's the final point.
The stakeholders meeting that we brought all people that matters in the educational sector to bear. And this is where we get positive criticisms, and that shaping us for the next year and what we have to do. But the key thing, the big thing that happened there was our projects digitization process, where contracts can be managed with just a click of a button. The contract management is going into a new dimension. And with this, the second phase of this whole digitization project is for us to link Auditor General, PPA, Central Tender Review Committee, the awarding bodies onto the online. So the Auditor General will have the access to whatever GETFund is doing in terms of its project. If we've gone through our budget, he will see it. If CTRC wants any data on GETFund, he can just click a button and get it, and then know that. And one aspect too is that a budgetary allocation will be set for it. So if I hit the budget, I cannot go on and then approve anything.
Okay.
So budgetary control.
I think there will be more opportunity to delve into. I see questions coming through. I can't do those, but thank you for joining us for this conversation today. And maybe some other time I'll get into what your expectations are ahead of 2024. But Doc, thank you so much for joining. Dr. Richard Boadu is the GETFund Administrator. He joined us this morning for this all-important conversation. Stay with us. Up next, the National Science and Math Quiz will be giving you the scoop. Is your school still in there? We'll be back after the break.
Have you heard that the quizmaster has assumed his seat? Yes, it is on. This is the quiz mistress, master mistress. Okay, ladies and gentlemen.
Professor Kaufman is doing her thing. She's taken over from.
I think she's a master.
The quarter to the finals, and it's always interesting how she takes over from that stage all the way to the end. And you know, it changes something. Like she comes with her own.
They have to first sieve out the boys from the men, the girls, the women.
Is your school still in there?
Of course we are. But don't tell us right now.
now you're
looking. Is standing by with details. You know, they've been there from day one, from the 1/8 stage now to the quarterfinals. They're giving us the gist, the latest updates from the National Science and Math Quiz. Here's what they have to say share with us today.
Jacqueline, if you can hear me, Jacqueline, of course, and Soma Iyabua, what is the latest? What matchups can we look forward to today? And what are the interactions you have to share with us this morning?
All right there. Hello there, Benjamin and Sweetie Abochi. Good morning, and to our lovely audience this morning. We're coming to you live from Cape Coast, to be precise, the SGS auditorium, where the quarterfinal stage is about to kickstart. I mean, our quiz mistress is seated right now, and we are still about to have a quick interaction with the students and some little analysis on the contest this morning. But before that, let me acknowledge our sponsors. The 2024 National Science and Maths Quiz is produced by Primetime Limited and sponsored by the Ghana Education Service in partnership with Gol PLC and supported by Pepsodent, Jupe Money Transfer, Prudential Life Insurance Ghana, Better Malts, ALS, Kivo, Bell Beverages, Flora Tissues, Coronation Insurance, Accra College of Medicine, University of Mines and Technology, Academic City, University College, PMMC Jewelry, GTP, YFM, and the Goldmark Foundation. Now, the broadcast of the 2024 National Science and Maths Quiz on Joy News is supported by NASCO, Vitamilk, Virtual Security Africa, Ace Medical Technologies, Ace Medical Insurance, Built Financial Technologies, DBS Roofing, Syntest Tanks, Family Health Medical College, Chopbus Technologies, and Action Secondary Technical, DPS Pipes, and Wakana. Well, the contest this morning, we're still in the quarterfinal stage, and the first contest happening right now is between Tamale SHS Tamasco, St. John's School, and of course Accra Academy. They've all made it to this stage, and just as the quiz mistress would say, this stage is the stage for the big boys and the big girls. But before we delve into discussion, let's speak to the students real quick. Let me speak to Tamasco students. Let them join me here real quick. All right, kindly join me here. Well, Tamasco, you've come this far. Real quick, what are we expecting from your school in this contest?
Expect nothing but the best. This year we are here to conquer. This year is we push no mercy. We are hunting every prey that comes our way this year. So expect nothing but the best from us this year. Right. Thank you very much.
Well, Accra Academy has been a force to reckon with. Last year, they made it. They were at this stage. They met with the reigning champions. And it was even though they went home, it was a good contest for them. Don't you see them as a threat in any way?
Scrutinize our faces very well. Do you see any sign of fear? No, we are the lions. We are hunting them down. Yeah.
Hey, well, I like that. I like the energy. Scrutinize the faces very well. What about you? What are you expecting from your school?
Oh, this time around, we are going to the finals. We are not going to stop at the semi-finals or the quarterfinals. We are going to the finals. We believe in our boys, and this time around, we are going to make it. Yes.
Okay, all right. Let me speak to the young lady here real quick. Now, you're here. It's been a long time since you made it to the semi-final stage. You're here in the quarterfinals. What are we expecting from your school?
The best.
The best. All right, that was very short. Well, expect nothing but the best from Tamasco. Thank you very much. And now let me bring students from St. John's School. St. John's School. They're inside Takoradi, and usually they're in the quarterfinal stage, haven't been to the semi-final stage before. But then, guys, how do you see this contest? How do you anticipate this contest?
Oh, I'm sure this contest will be simple for us, and you're hoping to go to the semi-final stage, as shown.
Very simple, eh? Yeah. All right, I have the twins here now. What about you? How do you see this contest, and what should Ghana, everybody, St. John's expect from you guys?
Well, our expectations are simple. It's just to win. As you know, our school is allergic to losing, so we are just here to win the team.
Your school is allergic to losing?
Yes, madam.
Okay, now let me speak to your brother too. What are we expecting from your school? At the end of the day, are you seeking to beat Accra and Tamasco?
Yeah, not just to also beat them, to claim what is rightfully ours, the NSMQ trophy.
The NSMQ trophy?
Yeah.
You guys have never been to the semis before?
Today, we'll be at the semis.
Today, you'll be there?
Yeah.
All right, well, that is St. John's School, and we wish you all the best. And after the contest, just as Tamasco said, we are scrutinizing your faces. We'll speak to you after the contest. Thank you very much. Now, I have Accra, two students from Accra Academy with me here. Last year, they did incredibly well when they met Presec Legon, but unfortunately, that contest, we had to give them a standing ovation. But are you guys back with the same vim this year?
Yeah, we are back with the same vim. Yes.
And what should we expect in this contest?
Okay, so we thank the Almighty Lord for bringing us this far. And we know He has been with us through. And we are telling you guys that you should expect the best from us, because we put up our best in this competition. Yes.
Okay, all right. Now, what about you two? What are we expecting from your school, Accra Academy? Are you clinching the ultimate?
Yes, we are taking a trophy this year. Like we've come today, as usual, we are energetic and we know that the Lord is backing us. Yeah. So we are taking the trophy home this year.
Okay. Well, I would ask you to give a message to St. John's and Tamasco. You heard all that they said. Everyone wants to clinch the trophy. What do you have to tell them?
Well, we have God on our side, and with all our preparations, we know that we can make it this year and we can beat them and qualify to the next round and to get to the finals and win the trophy. So the message for them is that they just watch out for us.
Okay, all right. These are the Blow Boys, and they are saying we should watch out for them. Still scrutinizing your faces, and we'll speak to you right after the contest. Thank you very much. All right. Well, you can kindly go take your seat. Well, the contest this morning is live on Joy Prime, and we have the last contest for today, which will be live on Joy Prime and Joy News. But then, to join me do an analysis this morning is Mr. Ajo. He is with Prime Time. Mr. Ajo, kindly join me here. Well, Mr. Ajo, this year we haven't really spoken that much. You've been behind the scenes doing all the work. How has it been for you?
Well, it's been exciting, tiring as well, but it's worth the effort.
Yeah, sure. But real quick, the contest this morning between Accra Academy, Tamasco, and St. John's, how do you see it?
Well, it's going to be a very close fight from the way I see it, because at this level, they are all on the same, they are at par, if I put that, because all schools were seeded last year, and they were able to go through the 1H stages and then won their contest, and therefore they have come together to meet in this particular contest. So I expect it to be very tough. It will be difficult to determine or to, let's say, pick one who's going to win, because they all are on top of their game.
Yeah, but looking at Accra Academy, last year we were all at the Sarah Mensa Auditorium in Kumasi when they put up that splendid performance with Presec. In the same quarterfinal stage, everybody gave them a standing ovation. Do you think, we've seen their previous contests in the competition, their 1/8 contest. Looking at their contest so far, do you think there's likely to be, they upping their game or?
Yeah, I believe so, because I'll go back to the regional championship, the Greater Accra Regional Championship, and where they met the Presec at the finals, and they equally put up a wonderful performance, as you mentioned, even for last year's as well. So, judging from what I observed during the regional championship and for what they did at the 1H stage, which you would say that it was a good vibe, but I was expecting more. Yeah. I won't believe that they could cause a stir if they're able to maintain that composure that they had last year, and then what I saw during the regional championship.
Sure. Now, what about Tamasco, Tamale SHS? They are very confident of a win this year.
They are. I mean, you would always classify them as underdogs, but I want to believe that if you should do so, you end up laughing on the wrong side of your mouth, because Tamale they are equally good. They have a good coordinator, solid one, who is able to prep the students very well. So they could cause a surprise as well if we underestimate them.
Sure. St. John's, they will tell me that they are the newbies, but then this time around they are moving to the semis for the very first time. Looking at their performance over the years.
Well, the St. John's have come far. I mean, they were a bit low over the years, but then for the past 2 or so years, they've upped their game, and therefore, once again, they are in the quarterfinal stage, and for which they are seeded. Yeah. But in their contest at the 1H stage, where they met Okwapuman and I think one other school, it was a close contest, especially they ended up beating Okwapuman by 1 point. Yeah. And then St. John's Grammar, where I think they scored 36 points. So that was a close fight. And so judging from that contest, I want to believe that if they don't try to put a lot more effort into what they're going to do, either Tamale or Akraka could beat them.
Okay. Well, now let's briefly. You know, there's an Eastern Region derby this for the second contest, the Adonton Senior High School. I know it's not part of this contest, but then real quick, Adonton seeded for the first time. Yes. And it's such an amazing stride for them. Do you think they have this power over their Eastern Regional champions and of course Ghana SHS Koforidua?
Well, it will be difficult to say. I mean, yeah. for them, like the others, this is the first time in so many years that they've been gotten themselves up to this stage where they are seeded. For those that are guys that are going to meet who have been there and therefore knows the ins and outs of it, it's going to be tough for them. I want to believe so. But then, hey, NSMQ, you cannot underestimate any opponent. Otherwise, you'll be shocked.
Sure. But the regional champions, they've done equally well. That's the Eastern Regional champions for being here, Koforidua Sectec. I think they've also done equally well. In their previous contest, I don't know if you observe it, they did remarkably well to proceed to this stage. You know, when we met at Adonton Senior Highs, my colleague Adobe Asari actually spoke to them, and they are saying that, well, they are not scared of their original champions, but then the original champions, I think they're actually coming in with some fire to looking at their previous contests and looking back at the original qualifiers too.
Well, of course, KSTS would want to establish the fact that they are regional champions, for which they want to keep that momentum. But you see, NSMQ, it's another game when it gets to certain stages, especially from this point towards the finals. Everyone wants to make a stake in this competition to at least reach the semi-finals. Then you would know that, look, for all your efforts, you were able to achieve this feat, not only getting seeded, but also made it to the semi-finals. And if you're in the semi-finals, obviously, you can easily get into the finals. So it's going to be a very close contest. I mean, in as much as they are regional champions, if they want to rely on that accolade, they can be surprised. But I want to believe that they will keep that level and ensure that they win the contest as well.
Okay, all right. Well, I wouldn't ask you to tip any school because you're a very neutral person. But then I know your last words to all the schools.
Well, I wish all the competing schools the best of luck. For all those who have made it this far, I keep saying that they've gotten this far not only because they just got it, but it was on merit. And so I wish them all the best of luck.
Okay, all right. We'll still speak to you on our last build-up for the last contest for today. Thank you very much, Mr. Ajo. All right, we're still here, and just as I said, the contest is live on Joy Prime, and real soon we'll start for the first contest for the day between Accra Academy, St. John's School, and Tamasco. Let me thank our sponsors once again. The 2024 National Science and Maths Quiz is produced by Primetime Limited and sponsored by the Ghana Education Service in partnership with GOL PLC and supported by Pepsodent, To Pay Money Transfer, Prudential Life Insurance Ghana, Bettermont, ALS, Kivo, Bell Beverages, Flora Tissues, Coronation Insurance, Accra College of Medicine, University of Mines and Technology, Academic City, University College, PMMC Jewelry, GTP, YFM, and the Girl Mac Foundation. The broadcast of the 2024 National Science and Maths Quiz on Joy News is supported by NASCO, Vita Milk, Virtual Security Africa, Ace Medical Insurance, Build Financial Technologies, DBS Roofing, Synthes Tanks, Family Health Medical College, Chopos Technologies, Action Secondary Technical School, DPS Pipes, and Wakana. Well, this contest kickstarts pretty soon, but then the last contest will still be on Joy Prime and Joy News, which will be between Keta SHTS and Price SHS and Achimota School. We'll be bringing you more up-to-speed details on what happens during all of these contests. I'm Jacqueline Ansuma Yeboah, and over to you back in the studio as we kickstart with this contest.
Well, Jacqueline Ansuma Yeboah delivering. And today is going to be a hot one. And I pray that Accra makes it through, else my director is going to bleed. He's going to bleed massively. So I pray that Accra scales, because the Tamasco boys, the Lions are roaring. They don't play. So if Accra gets beaten, my director will bleed. But anyway. Let me just celebrate.
Happy birthday going out to Loretta Ifua Kwachi.
Indeed.
AKA Buddy. Happy birthday, girl. I wish you the very best.
I don't know
what
naughty things you people have been up to that she's a baddie.
No, I saw that she received a balloon package and it says Happy Birthday, Buddy. So,
hey, you have to expose her like that. Anyway, on the matter of exposing people, this is from Samuel Kojo Brace. And he says, it's a long message. I'm going to cut it short. He says, Mr. Roland Quay, I call him the prof, an accomplished man, yet very humble. And he says, since I met you, you've always mesmerized me with your intellect and readiness to help someone grow. He talks about how you took personal interest in him since his wonderful mates, Martin and B, introduced you, and the rest is history. He says you've been a constant support system in his business journey and personal life. And today, the whole world must stop to celebrate you. The words of Samuel Kojo Brace. So God bless you. Age in grace and continue to excel. Happy birthday, Mr. Roland Quay, Managing Partner, New Age Agric Solutions Limited. Mr. Roland Quay, Managing Partner, New Age Agric Solutions Limited. Happy birthday from Samuel Kojo Brace and from the rest of us to you. Enjoy your day.
Well, thank you so much for staying with us on this Wednesday edition of the AM show, the best breakfast show on the block, the Ben and Sweetie Show. We're back on your screens tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of our programs.